I think the gym.
Yeah, what up? Oh my god.
Bro.
Ugh, gee.
I hate the gym. I cannot stand the gym. It's just something that you kind of have to do. I don't really think that it's an enjoyable process. People will watch these videos of like Rich Piana, like 8-hour arm workout. Like that's fun, but that's not really the most optimal way to train, like according to the literature. Like training in like a super optimal sense in terms of hypertrophy is not exactly a fun process. Like we're talking low rep ranges, high rest duration.
Wouldn't say low rep ranges.
So it's not like really that much enjoyment for me. I hate the gym.
Yeah, Clav's lazy. Highly lazy. We'll skim through this later. It's fucking stupid. Dude, he dresses like a fucking dork. He literally just looks like a fucking dork. This guy,
What the hell, VG? Does it really take you 17 whole minutes to finish in the bathroom?
had to take a shit, had to piss twice, washed my face, messaged Pat a little bit, so yeah, I ended up taking like 15 minutes. Thanks, Dodo.
Gym is a huge part of looks maxing.
Clavicular, the face of looks maxing, isn't looks maxing. It would be like a financial advisor not having any money, not saving, wasting it all. How is that possible? Coach Greg in today's video exposing the clavicular lie. In today's video, I asked Clavicular some questions straight up, testing him in order to see and discover who he really is. And what did it answer? A lot. Discovered Clavicular, he's essentially lying about everything. And how do I know? Because he says it himself. Remember when he passed out at the bar? From taking that substance that we can't name right here, was all made up.
So GHB or something?
And you all fell for it. When I made a video calling him out for this, that he wasn't actually passed out, that he didn't actually do that, they threatened to sue Coach Greg. I have the emails. Can we in fact post that, Mr. Editor? And so I said, be my guest. I'm not taking the video down. Only to find out that Coach Greg was right all along. And at this point, are we even going to question
60 Uno cheers. Well, thanks for the support, Kenny.
Clavicular? He's on the iced coffee hour, of which I asked him some questions. We're going to go over those questions as well. Let's just see. And by the end of this video, you will understand that Clavicular, he just essentially lies. There is no truth to what he's saying. He just goes through life playing a character.
Imagine 3 guys. One of them is 5.
Low tier god crashing out after the creator of looksmax.org rated him a 4.5 lol.
Big ass fat motherfucker with no traps, no guns, no biceps, no forearms, no nothing.
You'll generally find like the only like low tier god's a fairly good looking guy. Like he's not ugly or anything, you know. I'm not gonna he's 7.5 out of 10, like whatever. He's like generally good looking. You'll usually find with these like looks maxing dudes, or these dudes who rate how other dudes look, like they're usually not attractive themselves, And it's kind of strange having a dude rate another dude. Like you'd be more concerned about how women rate you. So it's just kind of strange, the whole thing they're fucking doing, where like men aren't going to have the most accurate picture of what women find attractive, and vice versa too. That's why there's so many dumb fucking women who are on like Ozempic and get too skinny, because they have a delusional sense of like what men find attractive. So why the fuck would you care if some dude rates you like a 4 out of 10 or some shit? Like, one, they're not even good looking themselves, and two, they're also not somebody you want to have sex with. They're not even the opposite sex. So like, who the fuck cares?
That a woman would find attractive would dare try to give a nigga of my stature a score like this? This is why I can't stand the internet. Like, who the fuck are these niggas anyway? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Look, bro, this nigga's just a fat, glasses, sloppy, blob, abominable, cyclops body fat fuck.
Does that guy actually run looksmax.org? Really?
There's no way in fuck, and I don't even need these glasses. These are blue light filters. Eyesight perfect.
I have no idea why the hell this guy has any interest in the looksmaxing community if he's like obese. Like, like at this point especially, like, you're dumb if you're fat and you don't want to be fat. Like, you're actually stupid. All you have to do is buy a GLP-1 agonist. Like, it just eliminates the fucking effort. You know, you still might not have enough discipline to be like, you know, have shredded abs or anything, but like, you're gonna be normal, you know? Like, you're gonna have a flat stomach and just like at least look normal. How the fuck do you run a looksmaxing website and you're fucking obese in an age where there's GLP-1 agonists that you can get for practically free? Like USD, they're between like $60 to $100 for a month's supply. Like, that's nothing, especially considering you're gonna save money anyway by eating less food. It literally pays for itself.
By the way, how the fuck is a 4-eyes, fat, disgusting blob with fat, blubbery cheeks, has a beard for no reason, big ass gap teeth, wearing polos to hide sloppy blubber, and overweight, disgusting, greasy body blubber, gonna dare rate somebody of my stature a low ass rated? Like, man, get the fuck out of here, man. This nigga's just hating. Get the fuck out of here, man. Can't no fat, sloppy ass nigga like this ever rate somebody of my fucking stature. This is the type of shit that I'm talking about with the internet. It makes sense for every stupid fucker to say something negative about me, but then you niggas tremble IRL and I shit on you IRL 24/7. Imagine how this ugly ass nigga would literally look next to me in person. That's literally a monster.
You know, it's kind of becoming more obvious that he's wearing a hair system.
That's a blob standing next to me in person. Nigga, I'm basically like an archangel compared to this ugly ass nigga. A 4.5, nigga, get your fat ass out of here. Bro, isn't this the fat, ugly ass nigga that runs a looksmaxing Reddit? Get the fuck out of here, man. Nothing about you looksmaxes. This nigga's out of his fucking mind. These are the type of niggas that watch my shit 24/7 that have.
I don't know what would give you the idea that I dislike fat people. I just said something that's true. Like again, if you actually want to lose weight and you aren't able to manage to lose weight, you're dumb. Again, it's as simple as literally just Googling a fucking peptide website, ordering the peptide, taking the peptide, and then ta-da, you lose weight. That is literally how effective they are. Retta is literally as effective as bariatric surgery. So you're actually dumb if you genuinely want to lose weight and you can't manage. Like, you're actually stupid. And there's research on this too. There's a huge correlation between low intelligence and obesity. So fatter people tend to be dumber to begin with. And like, again, you're probably going to see even more of a correlation with that if you run these studies again, because like you have to be an idiot to not just buy a GLP-1 agonist. Like, if you have issues with willpower and hunger and all that, again, there's literally a fucking drug that pays for itself. It's literally free. Like again, between $60 to $100 USD, depending on the peptide website, and what GLP-1 agonist you get. It'll pay for itself because you eat less food. So you, at best, or sorry, at worst, it's neutral to your finances. At best, you save money. Because the GLP-1 agonist might cost $100 a month, but you save like $200, $300, $400 on food, depending on how much of a fat ass you are.
Have the nerve and the audacity to say something about a nigga like me. All these niggas look like this. All these weirdos to be stalking me and all that type of shit, they all look like this. All of them.
Low to mid tier.
You think intelligence and looks correlate? Are you listening to anything I just fucking said? Like, is it generally considered attractive to be fat? Like, what did I just say? What's the point of even fucking asking me that?
Hey, get the fuck out of here. Balding too? How the fuck you just sit there balding with a Michael Keaton starter? Sloppy as fuck. Really just saying this shit with a straight face. You know this nigga's attracted to me. You know this. Bro. All right. Shit like this. This is why I can't stand the internet, man. It's just like, it's a market to just say some negative shit about me. That's the crazy fucking thing about it.
4.5 PSL isn't low tier normally.
Yeah, that's higher. I probably rated too high.
Man, go sit on a rubber beefcake, nigga.
Hey VG, I got some things for you to react to here, and here and here and here and here.
Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here,
It
internet's
is hard to
busiest
imagine
news.
a mother harming her own child.
The so-called DoorDash girl headed to trial.
All right. Thanks, Toto. We'll look at these.
Nantucket, and it told influencers to shove it. A sign reading "No influencers" generated some controversy online, mostly obviously among influencers. You see it there in the Four Winds Craft Guild store on the vacation island. It has picked up some traction among a group of influencers who are upset. Some are calling it anti-women. Influencer Paige Lorenz, who has a shop nearby, says, if you call yourself a feminist but proudly put up a no influencers sign, it's worth asking who you are attempting to delegitimize and why. She adds, the influencer industry is mostly women-driven, women creators. With another one...
Retta is not legal in my country. Uh-oh, if it's illegal, that means you can't do it. You're a dumb government slave and you do what you're told. Cigarettes are legal. Alcohol's legal. I do that because the government says it's okay. But Retatrutide, that's healthy for you, makes you lose weight, prevents and treats diabetes, prevents and treats heart disease, makes you live longer. I'm not gonna do that because I'm a good boy and I do what the government says so. So no Retatrutide for me, only alcohol and cigarettes. You're a genius.
Calling it, quote, icky. Finally, one influencer says, look, these people who have followings can help small businesses get a ton of exposure and reach customers. Kind of a weird move. Shop owner says this was all tongue-in-cheek, saying he's not actually anti.
Okay, boring.
Music nerd, hope you are doing well. And today we are going to be talking about a subject that is far more serious than what I think we talk about for over a year at this point, because Ariana and her team announced after she finishes off the Eternal Sunshine tour, which she is currently on, she's going to be taking a break from visibility in the public eye, and apparently will also be sitting out the West End revival of Stephen Sondheim's Sunday in the Park with George.
She's anorexic. Who the fuck cares?
A pretty upsetting development, given that Ariana has very much had her heart set on sort of the push she has been making into film and theater as of late. But this move into other creative fields for Ariana has also coincided with a lot of scrutiny, because as fans and critics alike have noticed over the last few years, with her getting more visible exposure due to interviews and press promo for Wicked. Again, she's currently out on this Eternal Sunshine tour where she's performing material not just from her last, kind of came to a head to shut as
Anthony Fantano's fucking faggot. Holy shit.
But Lakeland police arrested a woman after they say she confessed to dropping her baby and throwing him. Sadly, the infant died. Fox 13's Carla Byron has the details, though we do want to warn you, they are disturbing.
The investigation
Well, when you're too late for Planned Parenthood.
began on June 29th at about 11:30 p.m. when officers responded to Chestnut Woods Drive. There they found 6-month-old Jeremiah and took him to the hospital where he died. Police say his mother, 23-year-old Tatiana Norman, eventually admitted to dropping the boy on the floor, causing him to hit his head as well as throwing him into a playpen. Investigators say she told them she was feeling overwhelmed and fatigued tending to her children.
I understand. I have had children that, you get frustrated and you get, overwhelmed sometimes. But there are different ways to handle that. And throwing a child and killing.
So, whose idea was it to have the kid in the first place, you dumb bitch? Condoms, birth control, anal sex. Those are all options, but, what would a chimpanzee do?
This little man is not appropriate.
Police say Norman researched injuries online and instead of taking him to the hospital, just monitored him at home. They add if she had sought medical treatment the morning after his first injury, Jeremiah might have survived. Norman is charged with aggravated child abuse, which is a first-degree felony and can carry a penalty of
Right now, it hasn't been your only show recently, which I know it hasn't been. So we'll take it as a compliment. What is not a compliment and what it's hard to spin any positive light on is.
Let's just hope Ariana Grande doesn't die. She looks like a Holocaust survivor.
I couldn't give a shit either way. Who the fuck cares about Ariana Grande? Thanks, Dodo.
What has happened to Spain over the past 48 hours?
First of all, it's actually an invasion to begin with. It is an act of war. If we look about in another video where I said Barcelona or...
I show Speed gives his opinion on the Diamond Gym.
Hey man, I got stuff planned, bro, but I want to hear what y'all want, bro. I want to hear what you guys want. 100 reps? What do you mean 100 reps? 100 reps of that? What? What's the fucking point? Wait, he did 100 reps? Why would he do 100 reps of a power clean? You just fatigue maxing. You're not even getting no gains from that. Like, you only need 3 sets of that. 3 to 5 sets of that. He did 100 reps? For what? Chat, y'all know I got a gym? Bro, I got a gym at my house, bro. I should low-key make them all do a fucking workout, bro. Low-key, bro.
Yeah, like I show Speed isn't a dumb guy. He knows how to train. I'd never go to Diamond Gym. They're a bunch of fucking chimpanzees. Thanks, nigga.
Where Spain is turning into London now. And people didn't like it. People disagreed. And people like, I won't say his name, but people that are talking with debates in Oxford University is calling me a person of genocide, an Islamophobe. And going back to the whole thing that we talked about before.
Look, the results right now, they're counting the ballots. Dearborn, Michigan is all voting for El Sayed. Yeah. Well, we'll fuck around, find out. Thanks, Dodo.
Also, that woman was just proof some people should not have children. regardless of what conservatives say.
Yep, that's true. Thanks, Dodo.
On how Islamophobia is a term created by these people, the only common, or the only...
I saw Toy Story 5 and it was fucking terrible. Awful. Richard the First Am. Not sure if you were planning on going to see it, but I wouldn't recommend it. Fuck that movie.
I was not planning on seeing it. I didn't even know it was out. But thanks, little bastard.
only thing that we share, me and the people, this person that is talking about me being not a democratic person or whatever, the only thing we have in common or shared is that we both know what radicals are and what they look like. The only thing that differentiates between me and this person is I talk against it, whereas he conducts it in the Western countries. And I want to use your platform to say,
yeah, I played DCS. It's kind of a pain in the ass to run the game. It just takes so fucking ridiculously long to load. The load times are stupid. It's a pretty good flight sim. The way they do helicopters isn't good. I don't know if still to this day they have any telemetry data for the helicopters with like a force feedback flight stick. But people were complaining like crazy when the AH-64 came out, and it flew nothing like an AH-64. I'm more into helicopters. I was looking forward to the AH-64, and apparently it just sucks. Yeah, the only thing actual pilots have said about the game is the jets are a little slow. In real life, they actually accelerate faster. But I played it. I flew some missions. It's fun. It's just I don't like playing the game because it just takes way too long to load. Dodo. Yeah, I was gonna watch a video Ryan Macbeth did on that.
Really, little bastard, what's wrong with Toy Story 5 exactly?
That is fucked. Okay, great.
Is unknown to most Americans who determine elections. Swing independent voters had never heard of Hassan Piker. The ones who have wouldn't like him. He's known and popular among a very small subset of young people who are super online and very radicalized. Fine, have at it. That's how he makes a living.
You mentioned Piker isn't that famous, but you wrote a Wall Street Journal op-ed about him. Why did you think it was important to do that?
We called him out because we wanted to warn mainstream Democrats not to associate with him, not to elevate him, not to put him on their platforms or campaign with him, because in fact, that will drive away the swing independent and moderate voters that they need to win.
On Capitol Hill, are you surprised at just how big an issue Israel has become?
Well, I'm kind of surprised how this issue has become almost a litmus test in primaries across the country.
How do you think that's happened?
Sometimes these issues just, they get a mind of their own. I don't even think when I talk to voters about it and say, well, you're screaming and yelling at me, what really are you upset about? And it's based on I think, a lot of disinformation out there. I often don't really get an answer except, I don't know, I saw something on TikTok.
Hassan Piker, you introduced a resolution.
Yes.
Weasley Bell has been projected to defeat DSA candidate former Congresswoman Cori Bush in Democratic primary. That's some good news at last. Also, while Hassan was on the ground in Michigan helping get al-Sayed elected, what was Destiny doing exactly?
He was talking about how Muslims are good and there's no problem with the jizya. Thanks, Dodo.
Condemning him, along with Candace Owens,
correct,
for I think what you characterize as anti-Semitic hate speech. Can you talk us through why was it important to single out Hassan Piker and Candace Owens in particular?
Well, when you start ignoring hatred, and this is, again, look at history against any community, and the hatred bubbles up. And if you don't put it out, if you don't extinguish the fire, the flames just grow. And Hassan Piker is not just some
viral clips.
This to every single viewer, Europe will stay.
Okay, this is fucking boring.
Well, Dodo, to answer your question, there were 3 simultaneous plots. It was boring, not funny, I fell asleep during it, lots of dumb potty humor, Woody and Buzz were sidelined, and the other characters too. It was all about Jesse, and the villain sucked.
Okay, thanks, little bastard.
Been a while since I tuned in. You're looking like a straight-up action figure, bro. Muslim immigrants are the worst. An actual plague on Western civilization. They come to my job at closing time and stay for over an hour making a mess. Boss lets them.
Yeah, that sucks. There's definitely a growing amount of Muslim fatigue. Thanks, Masashi Boy.
Tyson Hockley calls out Sneeko to fight him at Arden Ross Brand Risk boxing event.
Yo, Sneeko, I challenge you to brand risk. We know that you're not going to pull up. We know you're going to ego the fight, but I challenge you. Pull up, fight me on brand risk.
Yeah, like, Sneeko's extraordinarily weak and pencily. So I'd put my money on Tyson Hockley. Even if he doesn't really have any boxing experience, like, Sneeko just can't throw a punch that could hurt anybody. That's a good cat. That is also a good cat. Cats love boxes. That's a nice kitty. Very good. So good. Yeah, that's really good.
On Friday, days after US Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said it looked, quote, very undervalued, and just hours after Reuters snapped this photo of his to-do list at a cabinet meeting, the US Treasury intervened in the foreign currency market to support Japan's currency, the yen. So in this video, we're going to try to figure out why the US bailed out Japan, and explain why it could backfire.
Has to do with them holding US bonds, right? Japan is run by fucking retards. It's kind of funny how everybody was hyping up that woman prime minister. It's like, okay, well, great. You're still broke and poor.
Which country has the world's best flag? It's not an important question, certainly not as important as the topic of this video, but we still want an answer. So we set up a survey that lets you vote for your favourite flag in a bunch of random matchups. It's actually really fun. Voting closes this Friday and is linked in the description. So to understand this story, you need to know a bit about the Japanese economy. In short, the yen has been declining pretty steadily for the past couple of years. Having traded at about 110 to the dollar for most of the late 2010s, in 2022 it suddenly slipped to more like 150, where it then hovered for the next couple of years, with the Japanese government intervening to make sure it never really fell below 160. In other words, using their foreign exchange reserves to buy up yen on the currency markets, thus making it stronger. However, a couple of weeks ago, after months of downwards pressure and a series of expensive but ultimately futile interventions, the yen finally slipped past 160, reaching a low of about 164 last week. Now, to be totally honest, no one seems to have a wholly satisfactory explanation for why the yen is doing so badly, but it probably has something to do with the fact that inflation has been running pretty hot in Japan since really 2022, which is when we saw that first steep decline. Inflation obviously erodes the real value of the yen, which has undermined its appeal as a so-called safe haven. The usual remedy to persistent inflation and a weak currency is higher interest rates. This is because higher interest rates encourage saving, which means less money sloshing around and should thus mean lower inflation. Relatedly, higher interest rates also make it more attractive to save in that currency, which should make it stronger. Unfortunately, raising interest rates is difficult for Japan, because higher interest rates usually push up government borrowing costs. This is because higher interest rates encourage people to hold their money in savings accounts, instead of buying government bonds, which is the other obvious choice for risk-averse investors. This isn't usually an insurmountable problem, but it's more difficult in Japan because the Japanese government has a massive debt burden. This means that any increase in interest rates would dramatically push up debt servicing.
I think some of that has to do with the amount of retirees they have. Japan, like, sucks. Being, like actually living in Japan and having to actually work for a living, Holy fuck, that seems horrendous. The amount they fucking work just to have, like, a low-end middle-class life is crazy.
Costs. In other words, the cost of paying off the interest on outstanding debt, which is especially difficult when Japanese bond yields are already surging, and the current Japanese government has signalled its intention to spend lots of money. Anyway, this is the context in which the US Treasury has decided to intervene to support the yen.
Oh gee, a woman spending a lot of money, who'd have figured?
I just got a new job. I will make somewhere between 130k to 150k depending on how well I do. And my OTE should increase a bit each year. With the extra money I plan to donate monthly to Joey Carbstrong.
That's nice, thanks Sleepy.
Well, little bastard. I'm honestly not surprised. These new Toy Story movies are honestly just situation comedies. But the quality is just gone. They honestly should have just ended with the third one. You can't top this.
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch that again, but thanks, Dodo.
What's funny is shortly after Tyson posted that clip of the podcast you did with him where you called Sneeko a fake Muslim and retard, Sneeko unfollowed him and started talking shit about Tyson shortly after. Sneeko probably saw that and got butthurt lol.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. What's funny is I've called out Sneeko for a debate, and he doesn't want the smoke. He's been dodging a debate with me for a while. He's absolutely retarded and pathetic. Just stupid as shit. Thanks for the donation, nigga.
Interestingly, the US didn't intervene with dollars. They actually intervened with euros to buy up yen on the international market. This intervention seems to have worked, at least in the short term. The yen rose from about 164 to the dollar to below the 160.
Earning over 150k absolutely does increase happiness. That's just fucking horseshit.
60 mark on Friday, where it stayed on Monday. Now, this wasn't a total surprise. As we mentioned in the intro, Scott Bessent has been talking about the yen being undervalued for a while, and it's also worth noting that earlier this year, the New York Federal Reserve performed what's known as a rate check, where they basically asked foreign currency traders how they were pricing the yen, which they've basically never done before, and was widely interpreted as a signal that they were getting ready to intervene. Nonetheless, even if it wasn't a total surprise, the intervention was very unusual. It's the first time that Japan and the US have coordinated to
Wow, VG Haley Stevens is only losing by 3% right now. The last polls before the election said she would get around 35 to 40% of the vote and Abdul 55 to 60%, but it's not turning out that way so far.
Well, hopefully she wins. Doesn't look like it, but what can you do? Thanks, Dodo.
defend the yen in decades, and it is, at least by historical standards, very weird to see another country intervening to make another country's currency stronger, and by implication, making their own currency weaker. After all, countries usually intervene in the opposite direction, in other words, to make their own currency stronger. So why did the US effectively bail out Japan? Well, we see at least three overlapping reasons. The first is that, to put it simply, Japan is a US ally, and it needed a hand. This was the reason that Trump himself gave over the weekend.
We have a good relationship with Japan. We're very strong, very, very strong financially. They are, they have a weakening yen, and they wanted a little bit of help, and we're always there for Japan. Japan's been very good to us, with the exception, of course, of Pearl Harbor.
Dodo, look at this map. You can see which countries voted most, or counties voted most for Haley or Abdul, and you can see the ones which favor Haley have more outstanding vote to count, so don't discount her yet.
Hello Dodo. Thank you for the input. I agree with you. The first three were great. Went downhill after that. When they make a sixth movie I will not be seeing it. Clearly an obvious cash grab. Sincerely. Little bastard.
Well, thank you, little bastard. Appreciate that. Well, that's good. Let's cross our fingers. Thanks, Dodo.
Second, Trump and lots of people in his team don't like bilateral trade deficits and believe that currency strength is a key determinant in this. The US runs a trade deficit with Japan, and Trump and co presumably think that a stronger yen will mean a smaller deficit, because it will make Japanese exports less competitive in the US and allow Japanese households to buy more stuff from the US. However, this does make the Treasury's decision to use euros instead of dollars look a bit odd, After all, selling euros for yen essentially weakens the euro, which by Trump's logic should mean a wider US trade deficit with the EU, which Trump also doesn't like. Third and finally, this fits into a pattern of the Trump administration using America's financial heft to intervene in other countries' politics. The Treasury also intervened to prop up the Argentinian peso last year, and offered support to Viktor Orban's government. So, as a final thing, will this actually work? Well, it all depends on credibility. In other words, if traders basically believe that the US will continue to burn through its foreign exchange reserves to defend the yen, then they'll stop betting against it. However, if they believe that, ultimately, neither the US or Japan are willing to actually spend the required cash to defend the yen, then they'll continue betting against it and selling yen. So far, the yen has continued to hold above 160, but we see at least two reasons to be skeptical. The first is that the mere fact that the US has intervened suggests that Japan lacks the stomach to protect the yen on its own. For context, Japan is sitting on massive reserves of foreign assets, which
W, what are your thoughts on this vegan activist approach?
Yourself as a decent person?
Yeah.
Well, you're not. You're the complete opposite, actually. Will you live vegan from now?
I'll try to do something.
What do you mean by try?
You need less to move on from there.
But you said if you were in their position, you would need freedom now.
Yeah,
Imagine,
but it's a lifestyle.
no, it's a principle. Imagine if you were used and someone said, I'll take time to stop. I'll stop oppressing you later. I'll reduce. How would that make you feel? Would you feel respected?
No, I won't.
So what's the acceptable thing your oppressor should do?
Stop eating meat?
Stop using you in any way. There are two sides of an injustice. You're either on the side of the oppressors or the oppressed.
True.
So what side do you...
Good. Thanks, dude.
which it could sell for foreign currency to defend the yen. The fact that the US has instead got involved suggests that, basically, Japan doesn't have the stomach to actually sell these assets, which will make investors less confident about its ability to defend the yen in the future. Second, the fact that the US intervened with euros instead of dollars suggests its own support for the yen is very much conditional. No one's entirely sure why the Treasury used euros instead of dollars, but it's probably partly just down to optics. In other words, the Trump administration doesn't want to be seen to be giving dollars to Japan. Again, this isn't good for credibility, because it strongly suggests that the US's willingness to defend the yen is very much constrained by politics. All in all, only a question.
In Oswego County, 23-year-old Olivia Henderson back in court today. News Channel 9 senior reporter Andrew Donovan explains what happens next in this high-profile case.
The internet can't seem to get enough of the criminal case of Olivia Henderson, the now former DoorDash driver, on TikTok, claiming she was sexually harassed by a customer, naked, asleep on his couch, when she delivered his order last year. But then police charged her because she recorded him and posted the video.
I think there's very little argument on what the evidence actually is, on what actually happened. It's whether that, what happened.
Is CrossFit for faggots?
Yes. Thanks, Pablo.
Rises to what they say it rises to. And we're very convinced, from the beginning of this case, I've been very convinced that it does not.
Her public defender challenging the prosecution's narrative she invaded her victim's privacy, an argument he's asking the judge to rule on.
Well, it is reasonable to expect for most...
She broke into his house and filmed him naked. So...
most people that you have privacy. If you do something to not have privacy, then you don't...
Like there was absolutely no reason for her to post that video on social media. None whatsoever. If she thought, like, oh, I'm getting sexually harassed or something, she could have filmed it and then sent it to the police. She posted it all over social media. The idea that she didn't invade his privacy is just fucking absurd.
No longer have a reasonable expectation of privacy.
Emphasizing it was the customer who left the solid door open with just the glass door as the barrier to his home. It's now clear Olivia Henderson won't plead guilty. This case won't be resolved by a plea agreement. She's scheduled for trial in January, but if another case resolves itself...
They must have either not given her a plea deal or the plea deal sucked.
I believe Dodo and Little Bastard are the same person. They have to be. I am convinced. BLBLBLBLBLBLBLBLBLBLBLBLBLBLBL.
All right. Thanks, Judak.
Earlier, Olivia Henderson will face...
4 with $50 million. One of them is 5'10", average on everything, but very funny. One of them is 6'3", broke, obese, and balding.
No one's picking 6'3", ugly, bald with no money. And so we're down to two options. Would you rather be 5'4" and rich, decent looking, normal, or 5'10" with an average amount of money, but very, very funny? And so is being a comedian worth $50 million? Well, if you ask Seinfeld, absolutely. He fits that bill.
I think you may have something here.
But George Costanza, also perhaps 5'4", but frankly ugly, he would have over $50 million. And so which are you going to pick?
The person who's 5'4" arguably has the best chance to ascend, right? With that kind of, with that kind of savings, you could do a lot of different things.
Well, you literally could ascend by getting limb lengthening surgery.
Dearborn is in the same county as Detroit. Wayne County. Abdul is winning Dearborn heavily, but Haley Stevens is performing well. With black voters, no surprise that the college towns like Kalamazoo are favoring Abdul. I'll say it favorably. Yeah, thanks, Dodo. JP.
Guys, don't feel bad or complain about this kid, Timothy. He threatened me first, and he was trying to scam people with giant implants. That's the whole reason this nonsense started in the first place.
Okay. Why is it always all the white college girls, Muslim Americans that vote DSA or Islamist people? Because they're retarded. I don't really want to look at that.
I make over $75,000 a month as a 26-year-old who dropped out of high school, doesn't have a...
You can't convince me that TikTok isn't in on these scammers, because there's hundreds and hundreds of them, to my knowledge. They have hundreds of thousands and millions of followers, and she might actually be making that much money from scamming people, you know? How is this even allowed? It goes to show how evil of a place the world truly is, and how these CEOs and these psycho, sociopaths, whatever you want to call these lunatics that own these social media companies, they want this to happen. They want these people that are in the club to steal money and take advantage of everyone else. Yeah, and even though you're naive and gullible enough to fall for this, it's just deceptive and scammy and just complete dirtbag behavior. You know what?
He's spending thousands of dollars on filing fees every week. No issues, not counting all other expenses. Genuinely curious how much he's earning. Yeah, I don't know.
I personally kind of like Toy Story 5. Not sure what Dodo and Little Bastard are talking about.
That's nice. Thanks, dude.
All of a sudden you're 5'10", but I still don't know if it's worth it. To some people, a sense of humor is paramount. It's the most important, the most attractive thing. You could buy whatever you want. And so if you're saying, yeah, but he's not can you be a good businessman? If you're 6'3" and whatever you want, click the link. You may in fact find what you need. Okay, I see you out modeling. I know you've been on performance-enhancing drugs, but you seem to have lost all of your muscle. You look 100% natural. And a minuscule reaction upon seeing the face of Coach Greg, he's smiling. Clavicular, his personality, it's flatline. I would call it flaccid. There's no real reaction to almost anything. He's monotone, boring. It's almost as if he thinks that being stoic and having no reaction to anything is better than
I'm going to the barn, thanks.
Having any reaction at all. If we're talking about what kind of man do you want to be with 5'4" versus 5'10", 6'3", different personalities, let's throw in Clavicular. You know, no one was going to pick 6'3", fat, ugly, and bald, but let's now add in Clavicular. He himself, this man right here. Which would you choose? 5'4", money, businessman, savvy. 5'10", funny, or this, bone smack.
Please sing this. I can't tell the homies I FW this when I'm breaking PRs on the bench gang.
Alright, I can do that for you. No keyring, no hand mirror. Oh, rock will never die. Rinda, Rinda, Jenjenga. Enjing, Pang, Kangus, Matcha, Do, Go, Sahai. I'm too shy for all these duty nay jewelry. I got suede on my vinyl. Naidungawa check. I'm not cute anymore. I'm not cute anymore. And way no more. Gajabadan nan nusana peppergajo. 'Cause I'm not cute anymore. Oh, Ben Kyoto Ben Wagon, my makeup tutorial. When I get super stressed. Gampana Guajan Bloka Gunde Neon Miola Seo. Oh, I don't like cherry coke. Man, no beginning. When you get something, I got suede on my vinyl. Now we don't watch chick. I'm not cute anymore. I'm not cute anymore. And way no more. Gajabodan and Nusuin Peperiga. 'Cause I'm not cute anymore. That makes me want to kill somebody. Thanks, dude.
What the fuck is this gay ass fucking music?
Thanks, Timmy.
Smashing, look smashing, personality flaccid, has almost no reaction to anything. Who exactly am I speaking to right now? Am I speaking to a wall? No one's picking Clavicular. Sure, he's pretty. He looks better than Coach Greg. I'm pretending I'm the 5'4" guy, even though I'm 5'6". He has some kind of money, although in this video he explains how he makes $500,000 a month, has to spend about that much money each month just in order to get by. And so there isn't much money left, but I'm sure he's doing aight. Which are you picking? I don't think people are picking Clavicular. And so he himself, who's giving advice to Looks Max and how to get a girl, how to be in a relationship, how to do all the things, he's doing the opposite of what he should be doing. What advice is Clavicular giving out that he's taking himself that's helping him to get girls? Do you have any plans to actually go back to the gym?
I started going a few days ago when I got back, but it was just impossible between traveling and that whole thing.
I don't believe it. Does anyone believe he has no time? There's not enough hours in the day for him to do that. Does that not sound like an excuse? How old is Clavicular? Is he 20? He doesn't have time to train?
He's just fucking lazy.
And so, does this not sound like what most adults will actually say? Why don't you train? Well, I got 2 kids, a job, I just don't have time. You have time. If you have time to do this, doom scroll, swipe left, swipe right, watch TV, go to the movies, go out to eat, you have time to train. 45 minutes in the gym twice a week can make significant changes in your body. It doesn't take all that much. Now, of course, you should be doing 150 minutes of cardio a week, but you should also be lifting weights as well. Clavicular isn't doing that. Does it not sound like every person, oh yeah, I just started back. Yep, I just started. Bro is abusing steroids, and this is the physique that he has.
I think the gym is
I don't know what Greg constitutes as abuse.
a huge part of Looks Maxing.
Clavicular, the face of Looks Maxing, isn't Looks Maxing. Does any of this make sense? It would be like a financial advisor not having any money, not saving, wasting it all. Or a marriage counselor who's been through 5 divorces. How is that possible?
Greg says you look natural. It's because realistically I am.
And so apparently Clavicular is natural because realistically he is. The fact that he was abusing steroids since the age of 14, the fact that he's on...
I don't know what Greg constitutes
How
as
much
abuse.
would someone have to donate to you for you to go to a karaoke bar and go up and sing on stage in front of drunk people, film it and post it to YouTube and Instagram?
I don't know, maybe $2,000. Thanks, I'm not cute anymore.
Don't pull this up on screen. Super gross video of Perez Hilton cutting himself on TikTok value. I don't know how sensitive you are to gory stuff. You may not want to play it at all.
He's not cutting himself deep enough and not in the right places either.
Greg, what are you doing?
Thanks, Pooh.
10 milligrams of Retta right now and has been on higher doses. The fact that he was using math in order to Looks Max to chisel out his face. The fact that he's on several different illegal compounds. I mean, let's not mention that some of these stimulants, you really think that you're allowed to use that in drug-tested sporting competitions? And so, are you in fact natty if you're abusing recreational substances? Perhaps you believe that you are, but what about the test?
Like I'm on TRT, testosterone replacement therapy.
He's on testosterone, and is it even prescribed by a doctor? Did he go to Algo RX?
Yeah, prescribed by a doctor, where they'll tell you to inject once a week or once every 2 weeks or once a month with not a right dose. Because it matters if it's prescribed by a doctor, right?
Did he get his blood work taken? Was his testosterone
Why would you need your blood work taken if you're on TRT?
levels low? Or
There's no reason to get your blood work taken if you're on TRT. There's very few cases where TRT would need any kind of regular blood work. If you end up being symptomatic of high hematocrit, like that's the only time you'd really need blood work with TRT. Other than that, like the reason you'd get blood work would be reasons outside of TRT, just for general health, like checking your ApoB and stuff. But testosterone does not cause any like negative effects on any of your organ systems. It's not neurotoxic, not kidney toxic, not liver toxic, nothing. It lowers your cholesterol and ApoB, it doesn't raise it, so it's cardioprotective. There's other cardioprotective effects it has with its upregulation of estrogen, tends to be anti-inflammatory. Like there's just no reason for regular blood work unless you're symptomatic of high hematocrit.
Listen here, Shehuak. I am not Dodo. I promise you on my father's dick. What makes you think that?
All right, thanks, little bastard. This whole you need to get blood work on TRT thing, it's just a scam to make you pay for services with these TRT clinics. So they'll charge you like 150 or 200 bucks for a blood work panel. None of it has anything to do with fucking TRT. It's just ridiculous. The goal of TRT is symptom relief, right? So if you have symptoms of hypogonadism, like low sex drive, penile insensitivity, low mood,
As
depression.
I said, Hassan is on the ground in these states getting these fascists selected while Destiny does nothing except defend the jizya and say we don't need to worry
Okay, I'll
about
look at that in a
Mom
minute.
Tony.
Thanks, Dodo. So it's symptom relief. So if you just start with a typical dose, like 140 milligrams a week, and then you feel good, and then maybe you feel like you could feel a little better, you just up the dose slightly, you feel a little better, you up the dose slightly again, and then you don't feel any better, well, then you pretty much found the dose that's right for you. There's no need to get fucking regular blood work. Again, testosterone is a bioidentical hormone. It doesn't do anything funny in your body like tren. If you're on tren, you want to get blood work to make sure you're not having any like kidney damage or anything like that. But again, do not be fooled that you need to get fucking blood work on TRT. It's just a load of fucking horseshit. The amount of crap they include in these panels that have nothing to do with fucking TRT, it's just a scam to make you pay for services. Again, it's only if you're having some kind of symptoms that you'd want to get blood work. So, you might want to check like your levels of neurosteroids, if you still have issues with like erectile dysfunction or mood or something like that. And again, the only other concern would be high hematocrit, which it's not a risk factor for blood clotting. High hematocrit's fine. It does not increase risk of blood clots. What can happen is if you have like low iron levels and your hematocrit climbs, you can end up having what are essentially dysfunctional red blood cells where they're enlarged, and then you just end up feeling lethargic, slow, tired, out of breath, stuff like that. But yeah, don't fall for this bullshit. It's all a scam. Greg's an idiot. Funny how Mr. I take black market steroids and I'm a competitive bodybuilder is saying, oh, go to ElgoRx, the company that I directly profit off of, and sell bullshit fucking services to you for no fucking reason so I can scam you for fucking money and take advantage of uninformed dipshits. Yeah, it's just fucking retarded. Greg has been taking black market steroids for at least 15 years, something like that. I think he started taking steroids around the age that I started. I think he was like 33 or 34 or something like that. Yeah, I started when I was 30. Yeah, like, no, I guess I would have been, how old would I have been? Yeah, I think it was 34. August 1st, 2025. So, like, Greg's, like, it's been at least a decade, and has he had any health issues? Like, he brags about how healthy he is. No problems with his cholesterol, apparently no problems with his organs, heart enlargement, nothing. He has to have at least a normal ejection fraction, because he cycles like fucking crazy. He has amazing cardio. And then he's like telling you, oh, steroids are going to kill you. They're so bad for you. He's had literally no fucking health problems whatsoever. That at least he's willing to admit. So, save your fucking money. Don't go to the doctors. Don't go to a fucking TRT clinic. They're all fucking idiots. They have no fucking idea what the hell they're talking about. Do your own research and medicate yourself. Like this whole fucking TRT thing, going to the doctor, they're either going to scam you or they're just going to shame you and humiliate you. That's all they fucking do. Or waste your time. Best case scenario.
By the way, this is also part of the reason why when people were like, dude, why the fuck are you going to Michigan? It's a lock for Abdul. I was like, remember? I kept saying, it's a lot of money that they're spending and it's a very important race. This is why I was here.
Well, please don't be anywhere. Fall off the face of the earth. Destiny sits there, complains, but he does nothing, or worse, tell him to get off his ass. He lied about being a physician? I didn't know about that.
I have a severe gambling problem. But the last time I went to a casino was August 20th, 2025. I promised I would go a full year of no gambling. Well, my 1-year anniversary is up in 2 weeks. I can't wait to go to the casino.
That's nice. Thanks, Buzz Lightyear. Collins, do you still believe that Thanksgiving should be canceled? I'm chef, and one of the first meals that I made was for the community when I was 16. Thanksgiving, currently painful. How people understood multiple views evolve. This chick is fucking crazy. Will criticize their socialist candidates on woke stuff because Marxists hate all forms of identity politics. Nothing is more annoying to white men having to listen to anything concerning minorities. What the fuck is he talking about? Destiny's a retard. Thanks, Dodo.
Did he just decide to hop on? Just because he's on whatever dose that he's saying, let's call it 200, 250. Do you really think a doctor prescribed that, or do you think he got it from one of his bros? If he went to Algorex, perhaps they would say you need enclomiphene. Perhaps it's time to cycle off.
If you go to AlgoRx and they prescribe you enclomiphene for testosterone deficiency, that proves they're fucking retarded. Why would you prescribe a fertility drug for testosterone deficiency? So Greg is admitting AlgoRx has retarded dumbass fucking doctors that aren't worth your fucking time.
HRT doesn't count if you're super physiological. Has Clavicular ever...
Yes, it does. You fucking idiot. Oftentimes with TRT, you have to go super physiological in order to get an effective dose for symptom relief. You fucking moron. Part of the reason men are androgen deficient isn't just because they have a lack of total androgens. It's also because the androgen receptors in their body are less sensitive. There could be genetic factors at play with that, but there's also environmental factors. A lot of the endocrine disrupting pollutants that we're exposed to, which is causing these androgen deficiencies in the first place, they directly affect the fucking androgen receptor, you fucking moron. You don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. So in order to get an effective dose of testosterone, you have to have super physiological levels. Again, you're not a fucking doctor, so why the fuck are you even saying this, you fucking idiot?
Posted his blood work. Have I made a video on Clavicular's blood work? If he posted his blood work, obviously I would have one. And since I don't have one, he hasn't posted his blood work. And so how do we know he needs tests? How do we know how much he's actually on? Is he actually on test? Is he lying? Does this look like a guy?
I might respond to that exact section of the video and call out Greg for being a fucking idiot.
Guy who's on high doses of HRT. A guy who's essentially lost all of his muscle. Or could it be that he was abusing steroids in the past? He started to do more research. He's supposedly an intelligent man and decided, I need to hop off. This isn't good. I want to live a long and
No, he's a fucking twink who doesn't eat much and doesn't exercise.
healthy life. Did he in fact get his blood work? And the doctor warned him of all the dangers. This is what's going to happen. What about his heart? We don't know.
That's not, you know, a steroid blast bodybuilder type cycle.
And so if Clavicular is on 200 milligrams of test a week and or more, that is not TRT. That is a low dose cycle. If your testosterone levels are super physiological, that means they're not within a normal reference range for your body, you're not replacing what your body would make, then it's super physiological. I'm on 140 milligrams and I'm 50. Does anyone think that Clavicular needs 200 milligrams a week? Is he on steroids?
He might need more. Why? Like again, Greg is not a fucking doctor. How the fuck would he know?
Steroids? No, I don't think he's on multiple steroids. I don't think he's on test.
Buddy, like, you look at...
Well, Jejuik, I appreciate you saying that. I wouldn't lose that much, but I could lose a few grand for sure. I have done it before. I have lost like 20 grand in a year too.
Thanks, Buzz Lightyear. You look at Clavicular, he's skinny as fuck, and then you're like the first thing you think of, he's on too much testosterone. Does Clavicular look like he's on too much fucking testosterone? Are you kidding me? When he's this fucking skinny? Like, what a retarded fucking statement.
Test in DECA, but he's on a steroid. Just let's keep it real. There's no reason to lie to these people to say, no, I'm not on a steroid. I'm on TRT. You know, it's...
Greg will never respond to me because he's a fucking lying coward, and he has nothing... Like, every time I've criticized him, he has absolutely nothing to defend against. Like, I just expose him for being a complete lying fucktard. So he never ever responds to me. He'll respond to everybody else but me.
Testosterone replacement therapy. Just because you color it differently, it doesn't mean it's any different. Same as somebody gives you a piece of shit in between two breads and says, no, it's not shit, it's a shit sandwich. It's still shit.
And it doesn't do the work for you. Even if you are blasting steroids, if you're not going to the gym, then you're not going to make gains.
Correct. And so he's not lying about that. If he's on testosterone, even if it's higher doses, and he isn't going to the gym, he isn't going to somehow just look jacked.
Sadly, it doesn't look like Haley Stevens will get enough of the remaining vote, but it's very close race, unlike what progressives thought, but that's still unfortunate because now people like Hassan will try to run Abdul. 28-28 for president. Well, that just ensures a Republican victory. Hopefully it's Marco Rubio who ends up running. It's looking more likely that it's going to be J.D. Vance, but thanks, Dodo.
In order to build muscle, you need a stimulus for muscle protein synthesis to occur. And so if he's just sitting on podcasts, you know, slapping girls in the bars, suing people, driving over people with his Cybertruck, or perhaps crashing his car in a ditch, punching people at a wedding, which are all things that he's done, it's not enough to make him build muscle. And so remember, Clav could literally come off of HRT. Like, why is he even on it? He's not even going to the gym. Does he need it? And if he were to come off...
There are plenty of men on HRT who don't go to the gym. HRT isn't just for making gains, you fucking retard.
You could use for Real Max. You guys, you know what this is. Double, perhaps triple your testosterone. Almost.
Oh my god. Maybe Biden can run again. No. Thanks, Dodo. He's shilling a scam bullshit testosterone booster. Can you even get this on in Canada? Because last I checked, DHEA is considered a drug here, and it's only prescribable by a doctor. So that's a little weird. Fuck. Oh my god. I don't know if this is going to be able to be sold in Canada, because last I checked, DHEA is considered a drug here. It's not an over-the-counter supplement like in the States. DHEA doesn't raise your testosterone, so like this is just a fucking stupid scam.
Double, perhaps triple your testosterone. Almost everyone will experience over 1,000 nanograms per deciliter. And so if Clavicular wants...
Cool story. That's a really cool story. If that were true, then why the fuck don't they prescribe this as a medication? It's almost as if you're full of shit.
To get off of HRT, he could, of course, go to Algor-X. Perhaps they could prescribe him enclomiphene. I'm certain they could do that. But if you don't want to go to...
What a fucking asshole.
This might be an unpopular opinion, but I honestly think that Toy Story 3 is not only the best Toy Story movie ever but also the best Pixar movie, period. It has the perfect amount of comedy drama material for kids and adults, dark stuff, etc.
That's nice. Thanks, Dodo.
King David 19960, you are a responsible gambler. Good for you. I am not, unfortunately. What games do you play? I play blackjack and ultimate Texas Hold'em poker.
All right, thanks, Buzz Lightyear.
Easy situation right now. Pedro Sanchez, gracias. Pedro Sanchez. Do you think it will take vigilantes to actually make a difference here inside of Europe?
I'm the first vigilante here. They're gonna fear me.
¿Por qué mujeres no vinieron aquí? Now they're all coming down, being walked down the mountain right now. Here in Spain, they received over 60,000 migrants who came across from the Moroccan border into the country of Spain. This is mainland Spain right behind me. However, right now I'm heading over to Ceuta, which is actually a town in Spain. However, it is on the African continent. There's a few towns that are part of Spain that are on the African continent, and Ceuta is one of them. Literally over 60,000 migrants came across their border. A lot of people are wondering what actually happened, so therefore we're heading there right now to see it for ourselves. These migrants quite literally came over by the truckloads into Spain, and people are wondering if it's a coordinated attack or if it was just the Moroccans that were coming over and seeking for a better life, or if it was an actual invasion.
If Turkesterone worked, you'd see Russian athletes using it to win, the Olympics, and they don't. You see them taking, everything under the fucking sun but Turkesterone. They've been caught with fucking Winstrol, Anavar, testosterone, with Trinabol, D-ball, like you name it. So if Turkesterone worked, athletes would be taking it.
I agree partially. Toy Story 3 is the best one for sure in the series. It's not my favorite Pixar movie though. It is tied for second place with Ratatouille. So yes, I agree it is a fantastic movie.
That's nice. Thanks, little bastard.
In my eyes, no other Pixar film has even come remotely close to the amount of comedy, drama, and emotion that Toy Story 3 has.
That's nice. Thanks, Dodo.
And just recently, in April, the Prime Minister of Spain came out with a plan to give over 500,000 migrants legal status here inside of the country. Right now, we're heading over to Ceuta.
Holy shit. 500,000. That's psychotic.
500,000 migrants legal status here inside of the country. Right now, we're heading over to Ceuta to see it.
Yeah, no wonder they fucking ran across the border.
For ourselves, we'll be speaking with the migrants themselves, with the Spaniards, and we'll even be going to the border to see what actually happened here inside this town. And right now, if you are not subscribed to the channel, we're so close to 2 million subscribers. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button, give this. Here we go. we go. Now to start, I met up with citizen vigilante by the name Mancia, who saw and predicted that the migrants were coming just days before, and now let's go see what is happening. We've arrived now, and we're here with Mancia. Mancia's from here in Spain. Right now we have a group of men right here. Look, they're covering up their faces. ¿Eres de Morocco? You from Morocco? ¿Por qué vinieron aquí a España?
No hablar mucho. Trabajo. Trabajando, no carteles, no ladrones. ¿Cruzaste nadando? Nadando. Okay. These people don't want to leave. They want to go to Europe. They want to go to Spain. So that's it.
If governments keep allowing this and it creates enough of a problem for average everyday working stiffs, these people are going to be hunted down, beaten with baseball bats, shot, stabbed, killed. Like, these European governments are just incredibly irresponsible and stupid. Kid Boo.
I want to start this shit off straight, telling all three of y'all stop playing with my name.
Let's go on there. Let's go.
Stop playing with my fucking name.
Let's go. Let's do it on camera.
Stop playing with my name.
Let's go right on there.
Nigga, when my name come up, respect it.
Let's go.
Stop playing with my fucking name. All three of y'all, stop playing with my name. I ain't gonna say it no more.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ MV Angela Yee, Charlemagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building.
He done cursed us out. Tell him, get it off your chest, Birdman.
I said it already. I ain't gotta talk no more.
Cause I don't understand the angle. Like what?
I said it already.
So why come here?
I did it already. I'm here. So what's happening?
I mean, it's all good, but I'm saying why?
And I'm here. What's happening?
I'm all good, but I'm saying why come here just to curse us
what's
up?
Happening, man? I wanted to see you. I wanted to talk to you and your man in your face.
Absolutely.
You understand me? I knew a few places you was at. I could have pulled up, but I don't think that was gangster. I wanted to come look you in your face like a man and tell you how I feel.
Okay.
You understand me? Straight up like a man.
So what's the issue?
No sugar. Ain't no issue. If it was an issue, you'll feel me. I just come to let y'all know, stop, put some respect on my name. You understand me? When y'all saying my name, put some respect on it.
Did you pull up on Ross that way or Trick Daddy?
Man, I'm pulling up on you, nigga.
Yeah, but I'm the radio guy. Why pull up on the radio guy? Don't act tough with the radio guy.
I hear you, my nigga. Y'all finished or y'all done? I ain't got no more talking. Let's rock.
All right.
All right, Buck. See you later, nigga.
Dodo, let me see.
And quite frankly, little basted, I think no Pixar movie sadly ever will even come close to the quality of Toy Story 3, seeing the crap they're making now like Soul.
Yeah, thanks, Dodo. State Senator Jeremy Moss defeats left-wing candidate Aisha Farrick Democratic primary. That's good, I guess.
So when someone like James Carville says he doesn't want to be in the same political party as Hassan Piker, which one are you going to take?
Well, that's not much of a choice. If Mr. Carville doesn't want to be in my party, the party that I belong to, that Piker, that El Sayed belongs to, he can start his own party. But, look, what we are doing now is...
That is an extraordinarily weaselly response.
You could turn the tables around and say, do you really want to be in a party where your leadership is taking huge amounts of money from AIPAC, which is supporting an extremist Netanyahu government that many of us believe have committed genocide? Do you want to be in a party with people who do that? Do you want to be in a party...
He's just doing this to bring his political career back from the dead. He literally does not give a shit what he's doing to the Democratic Party. I don't even know what the fuck he's doing. Like, he's 84 or something. Like, what? Why is he doing this?
Which has not stood up
Why isn't this idiot retired?
AI industry, because they got a lot of money from AI or from crypto. So you could pick, your...
Jesus fucking Christ, what a moron.
No way! It's a small one.
It's the first version.
It's the first. Wait.
Yeah. Really?
Is that a Bible?
No, that's the Little Red Book.
It is basically.
The Little Red Book?
The Little Red Book.
It's the Red Bible is what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some may say more important than the Bible. Some may.
Especially over here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is insane.
Let's talk about our favorite flags.
Oh, like overall, what my favorite flag?
Yeah.
Hezbollah. Look it up.
Oh.
I'm not even kidding. It's actually a dope flag.
I don't know flags.
It's this is a.
You know what? I'm gonna be brave.
Come on.
There's an LGBTQ flag there, and then he's talking about how he loves the Hezbollah flag.
My favorite flag.
It's got an AK on it and a fucking hand holding it up.
Wow. Son.
Or.
We might have to cut this.
Yeah, they execute gay people. Just the fuck. Yeah. Thanks, Dodo.
Toy Story 3 is fucking funny. I love when Buzz becomes Spanish Buzz. I can't believe Lotso's betrayal. I would like to pluck his stuffing. Yeah, the new Pixar movies are certified garbage.
Alright, thanks, little bastard.
Their mission here, that's why they crossed by swimming.
On July 31st was the day when quite literally 60,000 people came across, and right now a lot of those young men have returned back to Morocco, but now you just have groups of these men walking around this town, just like this one right here.
These groups are creating insecurity. The military are here as well. He said one thing. He said, this is Morocco. One of them said, this is Morocco because they think this is Morocco, but
Thanks
Spain,
for the
this
membership.
has been Spanish
stitching.
since 400 years. 400 years before Morocco got his independence. So it doesn't make any sense. But still they say this is Morocco.
Is this the first stop for most migrants to head up into the rest of Europe?
Yes, this is the main door, the main gate. Yeah.
And right now we're heading to the border. Here we go. We made it here to the border, and a lot of these migrants are actually now going back to Morocco. So for instance, right here we have a group of Moroccans that are now going back to Morocco. So right here is where they all came into the country, and right now they're going back to Morocco. Now there are still thousands upon thousands of migrants out inside the city, and we'll be finding them in just a moment. However, it's super important for you guys to understand exactly what happened at the border. So this is the border right now. We do have some people that are turning themselves in, and now they're saying just go back to Morocco. And it looks like you guys do have some floaties out now to stop people from coming in. Were those there before?
The thing is, I don't understand why they didn't put this before when this started. Why now? Why now? That's my question.
Do you think it was coordinated to let them all come in that day?
It's coordinated because I cannot imagine a country like Morocco, which is investing heavily in cybersecurity, in military, how these people can get out of control in this country. It's unbelievable. Nobody can believe this is not coordinated.
You guys are going back to Morocco?
Yes. ¿Cuándo viniste aquí?
Ask them why they came here and what's the situation like in Morocco.
They came thinking that they will have work and food here, and there is not, so they go back.
How come everyone came in flip-flops? ¿Por qué todos vinieron aquí en chanclas?
Viva
Harraga! Viva Harraga! What was it like the day everyone started coming in?
No, que sea un jaleo muy grande. Han hecho un alboroto total.
So now we have another person going back to Morocco. When everyone came through, they actually closed down all the shops because they were afraid all the towns were about to get looted. So when all the migrants came over here, they thought they were going to get food, they were going to try to get jobs, but all the stores were closed. Everyone just came through the border. They swam from the Moroccan side. Those floaties weren't there at the time, so they all just swam in or walked across the border here.
They were swimming and walking through these rocks. Someone crossing.
So right now you have a group of people trying to swim in right now, and then you also have people being taken back into Morocco from the Spanish police. While people are actively trying to swim into Spain right now, you actually
They should just shoot these people.
have them also sending the people back to Morocco at the same time. It looks like you have the Navy out here. Where were they out the day when
Toy Story 3, Toy Story 3, Toy Story 3, Toy Story 3 best movie ever. Let's fucking go. VG, do you like Toy Story 3? Answer now or Muslim.
Yeah, Toy Story 3 is good. Thanks, Kyle.
everyone came through?
They came the day after this ship in order to provide support.
And how did you know that people were going to start crossing into Spain the day that they did? Because you came all the way from Madrid.
Yeah, I came all the way over from Madrid by car because from Monday I started to see in the news that a little amount of people was doing that, but not at this dimension. It started slowly and then got completely out of hands.
And so you saw it ahead of time, but the military and the police didn't.
Correct. That's a good point. I didn't think about that, but yes.
So you think they could have done something to stop this?
Yeah, they could did something beforehand, for sure. That's why all the Spanish people think that this was kind of coordinated.
As we get away from the border, people are still in floaties coming across. You have all these people sleeping here in the back of this shop right here. Now you have lines of people waiting to get food. What did you think when you saw all these people coming across? Would you say this was an invasion?
Yes, an invasion is armed with weapons. I think this is an occupation because they are not coming with weapons. But it's an occupation, for sure, for sure. The people from Ceuta, they couldn't even eat. They couldn't even go to the supermarket for 3 days. The people of Ceuta was suffering this situation. They couldn't go to the supermarket, they couldn't go to the pharmacy, they couldn't go anywhere. They couldn't go to the street because a lot of security, a lot of big groups of guys hanging out in the street.
And now we're coming upon a big group of men, and there's no woman. I haven't seen a single woman going back or coming.
1% was woman.
So here's everyone coming in right now. Looks like they're opening up shops for people to come in and get some food. Is everyone from Morocco?
These look exactly like the people that you don't want coming into the country.
Todos son de Morocco? Everyone's from Morocco. ¿Y por qué vinieron aquí? Why'd you guys come here? ¿Por qué vinieron? How old are you guys? ¿Cuántos años tiene?
23. Me llamo Hamza. ¿Cuántos años? 21.
Pregúntales si estaba organizado desde Marruecos o por redes sociales.
لا الناس في تيك توك كلهم مغرب
The police in Morocco, they told them to come.
Right now we have this young kid translating for us. We just asked them if they came through because of social media and TikTok, and they just said that the Moroccan police let them in. Why'd you come here to Spain? ¿Por qué vinieron aquí a España?
Porque no tengo vivir a Marruecos.
¿Y por qué?
Porque no tengo vivir, no tengo trabajo, no tengo dinero.
The situation here is getting a little dicey right now. Everyone just comes out yelling. Nobody really knows what language. They speak English, Spanish. They're speaking broken Spanish and Moroccan.
Amigo, gracias, muchas gracias.
Ahora a Londres, ¿dónde vas?
Amigo, Marruecos.
Europa.
Para Europa.
Europa, toda
¿Qué
Europa.
parte?
Nosotros toda Europa. Hasta, te digo yo, hasta Rumanía. Rusia necesita mano obra barata, Marruecos manda. Derechos humanos, no hay Marruecos, no hay derechos humanos, ¿no? Pues vamos a buscarlo, hasta en China, derechos humanos.
So here you have a group of them that all came through from Morocco. Where are you guys going now? Paris, Londres?
Alemania, Bruxelles, Belgica, Danemark, Holanda. I love you.
And how old are you guys? 28. He's 28. 21. ¿Por qué mujeres no vinieron aquí? All these men right here, not a single woman in sight. He said something about women in Islam. What does Islam think about women?
He was saying that Islam says that women must be kept at home.
So they leave all their wives back in their country where there's no money, no jobs, no food, but then they come here all by themselves?
Correct.
You as a woman, how did you feel seeing 40,000, 60,000
Yeah, how about we just let them stay in their country?
migrants come across the border here?
Me sentí amenazada. No podía salir con el bebé. No podíamos salir porque yo vivo en un ático, pero tengo vecinos que vivían en el primero y tenían miedo de que saltaran a las casas. Es peligroso. Porque cuando vienen en avalancha es peligroso.
How do you feel knowing that the women here feel threatened, amenazados?
I feel very, very angry. I cannot understand how we let our own woman live with fear, running to their homes with the baby. Like, I don't want to stay in the street. I go home. Thank you. I'm not gonna allow this. Any Spanish guy shouldn't allow this. If we are real men, we should do something right now.
And you're the only one out here.
I'm the only one here from Madrid. No one didn't came with me. No one wanted to come with me.
You think if strong men don't stand up for countries in Europe and America, they'll eventually fall?
Yes. If we don't wake up now, we will fall for sure. This is our moment. Wake up, Europe. Wake up.
Do you think it will take vigilantes to actually make a difference here inside of Europe?
I'm the first vigilante here. They're gonna fear me. I'm sick of this push. I'm sick of this. I'm sick of seeing Spanish women, running away in our own country. I'm sick of this.
The police here only came after it took place. They're not reacting to the cause. They're not reacting to what actually caused it to happen.
They're not reacting. They are under the orders of the government. They cannot do anything. It's the only the people in the ground, only the citizens can do something. Citizens, wake up. This is our moment. We need to wake up as citizens, as European citizens.
Now we got word that there are people up in the top of the mountain hiding from the police, so we headed to the tip top. Because of how the situation got, people left the border and they started heading up the mountain of this small city, and now they're up top here in the mountain. This is where they're sleeping and staying away from the authorities up here on the top of these mountains. They're coming down right now. You have a group of them coming through right here. And this is where they're sleeping to stay away from the authorities. Right there, they had that man running away. So they're staying up here inside of the mountain, and then they're staying away from the authorities. There's another one coming out of the mountain right there. And now the military's coming through right now. Military just came through, yelled at the person, and now they're running back up into the mountain. Look, now there's another one coming through the mountain right here. Everyone just coming out, popping out of this mountain right now. 2 guys right there, another guy right there, another guy right there. 3 guys just popped out of the mountain. And this guy just ran right into the bush. And the other guys who just ducked out of the mountain just came and jumped into this brush right here. Morocco? Barcelona? So now all these guys are just coming out of the mountain. They can't get food, but they all have cigarettes somehow. ¿Qué pasó aquí? No. And right now they have people going on runs with sticks to fight off anybody that potentially comes their way. That's how crazy it's getting right now here. You have people living up here in the mountains. There's 20 people living behind that bush right there. These guys are all going to Madrid, and runners are running around with sticks to hit anyone if they try to attack them on their run.
Yeah.
In Spain, are you guys able to have guns? Can you own a gun?
No, it's forbidden. But military people and police, they have their own guns, and I know a lot of people here is bringing their personal weapons.
So if you're like that runner, right?
Yeah, there you go. We'll let in hundreds of thousands of migrants that are violent Islamic retards, but no guns for you. You just have to deal with getting beaten up and raped and shit. Fucking Europe. Brilliant.
Right there. Who doesn't have a gun, you're carrying a stick.
Yeah, correct. He's carrying a stick. A lot of people is carrying sticks. Groups of local people with sticks everywhere. Everyone, for security reasons, man.
Wow, so not guns, but sticks.
Yeah, not guns, but sticks, like in the medieval.
Welcome to Europe.
Welcome to Europe. Welcome to the medieval age.
Why do you think your politicians are allowing this to happen?
If they allow this to become the third world, they know, people in power, they know that they will be able to do whatever they want. They will increase their power because a ruler in the third world is a real ruler.
And so you're saying in a first world country where there's order, that way the politicians can't take that much power.
Yeah.
Because there's order.
The thing here is that people in power know that if they become this the third world, they will increase their power and their money even more. That's the thing, because they can control the society in an easier way. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you keep this full of third worlders, you can do whatever you want if you are in power.
Kid Boo.
Pay and leave. I will call the police.
Meow?
Don't fucking meow at me.
Can I get a different flavor? This one don't taste right.
You already opened it.
Huh?
You just opened it and taken a drink already.
Wait, I can't hear you. Huh?
You've taken a drink out of this one already. You have to pay for it.
I can't get another one?
You can buy a second one, but you still have to pay for this one.
What do you mean? Hey, is that Pactro?
What?
Hold on, man.
I don't know what that is.
What do you mean?
I do not know what Pactro is.
Alright, thanks, Kid Boo.
And your prime minister right now, according to Polymarket, he has the second best odds of becoming the prime minister again, but his odds are very low on Polymarket. But your prime minister just created a way for over 500,000 migrants to get legal status here inside of Spain. Do you think your prime minister Sanchez is trying to up his odds and his probability of becoming the prime minister once again by importing all these migrants?
Yeah, because he knows that he has a strategy, a very clear strategy. He gets the money from the taxes from the working people in Spain, and he gives away some help to these migrants, and then he easily can get boats. He's basically buying boats. Basically buying boats. That's all about that. It's all about power and money. People in church only want to have more power and more money. And
VG, I need some advice. My best friend since childhood has become a full-fledged commie socialist, glazing Hassan and Abdul. I've tried for years to lovingly set him straight, but he brainwashes strong, and as a Gen Z I notice it's infected a lot of us.
Don't be friends with him anymore, he's a retard. Thanks, Kyle.
What's worse, little basted, is that recent news that Disney is firing over 108 of the Pixar staff means that their movies are going to get even worse.
That's terrible. Thanks, Dodo.
The easiest way to do it is to fill this country with third worlders.
So right now on Poly Market, Pedro Sanchez actually has a very low probability of winning this election, but he has created a way for over 500,000 migrants to get legal status here inside of Spain, and then they'd be able to vote. As we're driving through town, all the shops are closed down right now. This shop's closed. This shop's closed. We have the shop owner right here standing outside of his store. The military's coming through the streets right now. This shop's closed. This shop's closed. Pharmacy. This shop's closed. All the shops here in downtown are closed right now. You had one shop that was open and the shop owner was standing outside of it.
All of the businesses closed, yeah, because they don't want to be robbed.
Now we're at a cemetery, and here at the cemetery, you have a group of migrants who have taken the cemetery. There's a fountain over there, a fountain over here, and a fountain down below. They're using the cemetery to shower and clean out all their clothes. So this is quite literally where they're showering. They're using the cemetery to shower. Kind of a representation of what's actually happening here. The people died for this country, and now you have migrants that are showering on their graves. Kind of crazy to think about. You as a man from Spain, to see that migrants are now showering on the dead graves of people who died for Spain, how does that make you feel?
If my ancestors, these are my ancestors. These, all of them, are my ancestors. If they wake up, they will say, this is insane, send them back immediately.
And now right here, it looks like the military has grabbed a group of the guys that are up in the mountain.
When you reconstitute GH with 2.1 mil backwater, to use 3 1 mil syringes or just reuse the same one? Use 3 1 mil syringes. I also don't know why you're reconstituting it with 2.1 mil backwater. Unless you're getting GH that's like dosed weird at like 17 IUs or something. But yeah, I'd use just 3 fresh syringes.
Now they're all coming down, being walked down the mountain right now. And once again, not a single woman in sight. This is all just a group of men right here, all being escorted down the mountain from the Spanish military. There's another group back there as well. And right here in the mountains, we have another.
You can also just get a 3 mil syringe. That's also an option.
Another group of people who are getting pushed down the mountain from the Spanish military. It looks like the Spanish military, the Spaniards, are starting to do something about this migrant crisis. It has gotten really, really bad. All these people are now fleeing, coming down the mountain, being pushed down from the Spanish military. And the police are coming up right now. As the police made a push to get everyone down the mountain, due to the sheer amount of people that crossed into the country when they opened up the gates, there were so many people and so many children that entered, we headed to a camp where there were tons of abandoned children. Familia? ¿Cuántas personas vinieron con usted? How many people came with you? Why'd you come here? ¿Por qué vinieron aquí? Why'd you come?
Quieren ir a España. Sí, a Madrid, Barcelona, cualquier sitio.
How old are these kids right here?
15, 16, 18, 14.
15, 14 years old. And where are their parents?
14 and he's already missing half his teeth.
Están en Marruecos. Cada uno a su cosa.
Are you guys nervous?
Tranquilo.
Lamine Yamal or Ronaldo?
Ronaldo. ما كاين لا لامين يامال لا رونالدو. الوالدة تعيش الوالدة.
I didn't know what questions to ask him. I was like, Lamine Yamal or Ronaldo? Adios. How old are you guys?
Me llamo Anas 21, soy Marruecos, no trabajo, no.
Viva España.
15.
You're 15 years old.
15 years.
Sus padres?
Español.
بابا وماما في مارويكوس.
No papa, no mama.
عمري كانت ساكن فاس جينا لهنا باش نمشيو لاسبانيا.
موراكو is beautiful. حنا الدراري ديالنا ما عندهمش مستقبل تما فهمتيني.
So here they're all showering. This is where these guys have set up. They're showering out of these buckets right here. It's actually really sad to see this. This is how they're cleaning their clothes. This is where these guys are getting their water at to shower. They're showering out of buckets right now. They're getting it from this pipe underneath the street right now. And they're all showering, washing their clothes out of this bucket. It's actually just really sad to see that this is what the situation's like here at the border of Spain and Morocco. They're using laundry detergent for shampoo. We finally found our first 2 women here this whole entire video. How come you came to Spain?
Pedro Sanchez.
Pedro Sanchez, good?
Sanchez, go.
Viva España.
No Morocco.
How old are you?
17.
He's 17 years old.
And
15.
Morocco no trabajo, no school.
So all these guys here, like Pedro Sanchez, a lot of people are saying that he's the reason why all this is happening. These are the first women we've seen this entire video. Why flip-flops? Everyone's got flip-flops. To swim. We found out where they're all living. 13 years old. So all these kids are coming over here. 13 years old. This kid's 14. and they're all here by themselves.
Menores.
Y padres, mamá, papá.
No, mamá, no papá.
No trabajo, no tengo.
No, Marruecos للشارع.
So now we came to this spot. This is where all the kids came. I have no idea what they're saying. ¿Qué está la situación en Morocco?
No travail, no school, no hospitality, no school, no AIDS, no AIDS.
No food, no eat.
No AIDS. No more.
Yeah, vamos. All right. Put a
So these people have no education, no job, no employment history, and somebody thought it was a good idea for them to come here.
a lot of trust in these kids right here. Wow, this is where they're all at down here. This is between the border of Morocco and Spain now. We're literally right by the border wall. The border's right there. ¿Qué pasa? Like, these people are just getting shade underneath the cars. That's how bad the situation is right now. The kids are here, quite literally doing anything just to get shade right now. No food, no water. The police are down here. ¿Quién habla español? Español. All right, we're looking for someone who speaks Spanish. This is a crazy situation right now. I'm looking for someone to speak Spanish. No one speaks Spanish. Everyone's saying over here they speak Spanish, but no one speaks Spanish. I have no idea what Pedro Sanchez.
gracias. Viva España, viva España. Viva España. Fanatic, solo fanatic.
Viva le roi d'Espagne.
ولت له تحياتي ولت له
¿Quién habla español? We're picking up quite the crowd right here.
Pedro Sanchez, I love you.
English? Yo hablo inglés. Why'd you guys come here to Spain?
For better chances, better opportunities. We were not working in Morocco. We came.
You came?
Everyone came and we came.
How many of you came? How many?
Pedro Sanchez.
Me and my friends were like four. We're four.
Four of you guys came. And what do you guys think about Pedro Sanchez?
Pedro Sanchez, قول له راجل مزيان. قول له
Pedro Sanchez.
Good, very good. جيد.
Bueno. Mucho bueno.
Mucho bueno.
Viva Pedro.
Like, this just makes it so obvious that this is all like a liberal thing to get immigrants to vote for them so they can stay in power.
Sanchez.
Viva, bravo. Pedro Sanchez, I love you.
And what do you where are you going now?
We can't go nowhere right now. They should take us somewhere.
Where do you want to go?
Spain.
What part?
I don't know.
How old are you?
قال لك علاش باغي نمشي اسبانيا.
How old are you?
17.
17 years old. And what do you want to do with your life? What do you want to do for work?
I want to study. I want to finish my studies in Spain.
In Spain.
Yeah.
And after Spain, where do you want to go?
I'm not sure. I just want to go to Spain right now. This is the goal right now.
And how do you plan to get out of Quetta?
Quetta?
How are you going to leave in a boat?
Through asylum.
Through asylum.
Yeah.
And what are you fleeing in Morocco? What is life in danger in Morocco, or how come you want to leave?
You want my opinions on Morocco? I can't say that. It's tough. It's tough.
Are people dying there? Is it dangerous?
People are dying. Yes, of course. People are dying from hunger, from not enough work opportunities.
Wow, so right here we have people just sharing water. Like, this situation is so bad right here right now. No one knows.
Very bad, very bad. So bad. I don't know.
And how come you think they allowed this to happen?
Sorry?
How come you think they allowed this to happen?
Really, I don't know. I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Really, I'm shocked.
He's a fellow journalist right here, and he's shocked.
Yeah.
This is an extremely dire situation. Lots of young people.
Yes.
These kids are all 14. And headed to the center of the town with the citizen vigilante Mancia. However, within minutes, we were chased out. So now people here to feel safe, they're walking around with their dogs because Muslims do not like dogs. Watch out.
Yes, ban guns, but let in immigrants that are violent with knives.
Now we got people throwing stuff at us. ¿Qué hizo? Look, he's got the rocks now. He's throwing rocks. Oh shit. They're throwing rocks. No. Look, now we're getting chased. He has a knife. He got a knife. He's got a knife. just like that, we have finished our mission here in Spain. We showed you guys the truth of what was actually going on, and we finished with a knife. We finished with a knife chase down the hill, and then got escorted back up to our car from the Spanish police. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like.
Europe. Brilliant. Jesus fuck. Does he have a new one? No, we've already seen that, right?
Dr. Taban had my original TikTok account taken down, where you could have scrolled back to see what my eyes looked like immediately after his procedure. And 8
Yeah, he looked pretty retarded.
revision surgeries later, I mean, probably close to 24 procedures at this point, this is what I look like now. So, you know, we've made vast improvements. We're still not back to 100%, you know. We still have asymmetries. It's still a little botched, but compared to what we looked like before the revisions, dude, I think we've come a long way. He really botched the fuck out of me, dude. Really horrendous work. Like, the infraorbital implants were asymmetrical. Everything was asymmetrical. Out of the 4 procedures he did not do one of them symmetrically, and he made me extremely cross-eyed. This might have actually been after we had 1 revision strabismus surgery, so really, really shameful stuff that the guys...
Dude, imagine paying $30K to look this retarded. What a fucking moron.
We've got a compromised cameraman. Did you guys watch Bobby Green go in there and spar? So there's this guy called Dean the Mean. He does live things. Rampage is doing one where you kind of follow him around. In fact, I think Dean the Mean might have even got knocked out on Rampage's things by Tiki. I think that was the gentleman that got elbowed.
Are you the guy that got slapped on video?
I did, but I'll slap the shit out you, though.
Oh, you will?
Yeah.
I'm going to show you the inside of the house.
I'll make you another clip. Don't do that.
Seriously?
Don't do that.
Whoa, whoa.
All right.
Well, that didn't, that tough talk didn't really work out for him.
Come on, cuz. Come on.
Dean the Mean is friends with Adrian Broner. Adrian Broner is training guys, in this case Bam Bam, who's 18-1. The video, when you watch it, is Bobby Green getting ready to spar. Now, Bobby Green does not look like he's taking this serious. Why do I say that? Because he has a mouthpiece and gloves and nothing else. He doesn't have his shirt on. He's not representing a sponsor. That's not normal boxing attire. There was no headgear. There was no cup. I mean, he looks like he's getting ready to mess around, but it wasn't. It was a live sparring session. And a lot of sparring sessions in boxing, by MMA terms, are fights. I mean, in MMA, we are very careful and very reserved. And in the most intensive circumstances, we would not raise intensity above an 80. Now, Bobby never went 100%, but I'm not convinced that his opponent was not. So Bobby's in there like a guy that's going to move around, be the new guy in the gym, play a little, and then hopefully one of these guys will teach him something. Hopefully when this is done, they'll jump in the ring and they'll show him, hey, if you slip this way, you slipped it when you shoulder roll, come back. That's where setting up your hook, something along these lines. We don't get to that point because Bobby punks this guy out so bad. I mean, Bobby broke rules of boxing. For example, he never raised his hands. He got his hands down here. He's got his hands down here. And he's moving just enough. He's moving just enough to distract it. Bobby Green even, he starts the whole thing with the flinch, like your big brother would do. And you go, no, no, no. Bobby gets the guy to go, no, no, no. Gets the guy to do that right off the bat, and he does it twice. Pulls back, hits him with the other hand. I mean, I did not think, but I still hold boxing to a very high standard. No matter how many times that I have been shown a solid, tough guy can go do really well in boxing, I just can't accept it. I believe in the sweet science, and I believe at a level to where you could amass a record of 18-1, that you're at that level. That a guy that doesn't know exactly what he's doing, that can set certain traps for you, is never going to put a hand on you. I'm a little better than I thought I was. Let me put this out there a little quicker. Okay, well, let me do a double jab. It wasn't like that. Bobby knew from Jump Street, I'm going to humiliate this guy, and he did. Now, Bob.
Kid Boo. Let me see.
Bobby did not hurt him. Bobby was not a bad sport. Bobby, in fact, was a gentleman. Because there was a number of times when Bobby did start letting go that he realizes this.
Yet another cucked politician I have lost all respect for.
My greatest concern right now is that the state of Israel is losing support all across the political spectrum here in the U.S. And I believe that
Why does that concern you?
I think we're leaving a vacuum on the left and the progressive wing to speak to this criticism in a way that is in line with our values.
Well, that's interesting, Joe. So that's a House candidate in Colorado. She won an improbable victory in the primaries. She's likely going to be the next congresswoman from there. Her name is Milat Kuros. But there's a little bit more to it. I want to show you that because it might involve, basically you in a sense. So let's watch the next clip.
I think we're leaving a vacuum on the left and the progressive wing to speak to this criticism in a way that is in line with our values. We are not presenting our vision in a way that isn't a vision in line with our values that can combat and hopefully silence a lot of the anti-Semitism that's coming from the right, because we're leaving that vacuum wide open right now if we are afraid to have these conversations.
What does she mean from the right?
Ooh, okay, two different things there. One is she ran a very pro-Palestinian, anti-Israel campaign, and now she seems to have completely changed the way that she's framing the issue. She backpedaled on that. I'll get to that in a second. But the second thing was directly related to someone you spent the weekend with, Tucker Carlson there. It seemed like, Joe, she was saying, those of us on the left opposed to Israel are doing it for the right reasons, but those of you on the right that are opposed to funding Israel more, their funding of their wars, are doing it for the wrong reasons because you guys are anti-Semitic and you're pretending to care. Well, how do you respond to that?
Okay, thanks, Dodo.
Opponent defensively doesn't have what it takes to bob and weave my shots. Bobby's touching him with everything that he throws. So now all of a sudden, Bobby needs to throw a little ass, get behind him, reach around, grab the hip, show wrestling in the situation, move him around. I love boxing. I actually love boxing. If you took an MMA guy and you never took him to one day of boxing practice, you might do him a favor. I do not think that a top boxer can beat a top kickboxer. I know a lot of you do. I don't think that a top boxer is going to have any problems with it.
Thoughts on AIPAC spending $60 million on the Michigan State race? Do you think that kind of money has any place in political elections? Really, be honest. It's fine. Like, it's a lobbying group. It's an American lobbying group. They can do that. Thanks, dude.
Taekwondo guy, by example. Like if the contest involves standing.
No, I don't have any fear of needles. Any tips of getting over it? Yeah, stop being a pussy.
No takedowns. The better boxer wins, I've always thought. It was like a duck. It was like a duck, but he stays down.
I had to force them to give me a test cause doc said nah, you don't need it. Total T, 523 nanograms/day L, free T, 11.7 nanograms/day L, SHBG, 13 mol/L. Am I dying? Am I the gay like Holly Wally? Or as the sailors call him, good time oli 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 yay.
Where did you get a free test at with nanograms? $5.21. It's in like middle for free. It's fine. Like, it's not technically hypogonadal. Once you're at the 400 nanogram per deciliter cutoff point, you're That's where you're absolutely hypogonadal. Ideally, your testosterone would be over 1,000 naturally. It used to be fairly common to see men with a natural test of 1,600 total. It's not anymore because of chemicals and such. I'd recommend TRT, but, you know, it's up to you. Thanks, my nigga. Soul, I mean, don't you think all lobbying groups should not be allowed? No. There are meat lobbying groups, etc. They should be allowed to spend tens of millions of dollars to get politicians elected who will do their bidding, not just AIPAC, but that's a big one, so. Yeah, I don't see a problem with lobbying. Politicians represent all people, including corporations, businesses, stuff like that, and they have the most amount of money to support them. So I don't see an inherent issue with lobbying. Thanks, Soul. How long do you keep your backwater for once used? They recommend 28 days. What do you mean? Like the actual vial? Just go off, there's an expiry date on the vial.
Down here, then he's gonna like try to shoe shine on his way out. But if you came in down here, you will get front headlocked. You get Patty the Battied out. You will get Anderson Silva versus Rich Franklin knee to the head. Just that one motion of bending over at the waist in front of an MMA guy. He's going to jump on that head. You're never going to get up. The fight will.
Clay Stevenson is preparing for a journey he never expected to take.
I'm anxious, pretty anxious.
Good God, imagine calling out the liberals for their anti-Semitism only to backpedal and cave to their bullshit due to peer pressure. Good grief, these people have no fucking balls.
Yeah, liberals are spineless. Thanks, Dodo.
It's surreal. It's like a movie. It feels like I'm not in real life.
He's about to travel from his home on the Gold Coast to try to see his 20-year-old son Patrick in Syria.
I'm heard it's safer than it has been, so I'm hoping that's still the case.
Clay's son Patrick has spent more than 6 months in a Syrian prison on a charge of premeditated murder.
I don't really have any words. I'm hoping that my
Kid Boo. Yeah, I'm not watching that. Thanks, Kid Boo.
Didn't do what he's been accused of, but I don't know how I'm going to handle seeing his condition. Yeah, I just don't think that he's going to look like the same boy I know.
His charge is Article 535, intentional or premeditated murder. And my understanding is that charge is for capital punishment and that it is merciful, it'll be quick. But we really hope that's not the case. Desperately hope. These are the clothes I'm going to send with Clay.
If I had to spend the rest of my life in a Syrian prison, I'd want capital punishment.
It's not much, but we're not sure what the prison guards will or will not allow.
Since their son's arrest in December, Clay's ex-wife, Angela, has struggled to get answers from the Australian...
Why the fuck was this retard in Syria to begin with?
...and Syrian governments.
I don't have a charge sheet, not a single document that has come from Syria explaining the charges.
Patrick's family is grappling with how their son ended up in Syria. A psychiatric report shows Patrick grew up with learning disorders, ADHD, and probable autism spectrum disorder.
Oh, so he's a retard.
In 2023, he found Islam. His
Okay, so he's really, really retarded.
Version was posted online.
Patrick converted to
Bro. Okay.
Islam about the end of year 12. He seemed to fall out with his friends who were partying and drinking, and he really liked the company of men at the mosque, and that
I keep the backwater until it's done.
I think the chanting and the prayers were peaceful to him and helped quieten his mind.
Patrick joined a youth group at the Wurundjeri Mosque on the Gold Coast. They spent weekends boxing and training. He took on the name Saifullah, meaning Sword of God, and last year posted hardline videos to social media and lectures by slain Al-Qaeda cleric Anwar al-Awlaki.
What are your questions for the youth group?
Yeah.
Dodo, look at the results now. My God, it's close. Yeah, it's pretty close. We'll see. Thanks, Dodo.
I would like to know, did they influence Patrick in any way and why?
In a statement, the leader of the Muslim Youth Gold Coast group said Patrick's travel to Syria was not supported by any group or organisation here. We created MYGC to help young people, both Muslim and non-Muslim, steer away and overcome the negative challenges they face daily and give them the correct understanding of Islam, free from the stereotypes and misinformation that can appear online or in the media.
This is Patrick's room before he moved out. All his guitars he used to play. He moved out probably 2 months before.
Al-Sham, who were previously aligned with Al-Qaeda. After nearly 14 years of civil war, they toppled the Assad regime in 2024 and formed Syria's new government.
The fact that someone has travelled.
Sego, are you reading for Ian Gary also what pre-workout to use? I have no idea who the hell that is.
For me, it starts with what I put in my body. Before I was plant-based, I was strong. But now, I'm on another level. It's clarity. Move smoother. I'm there. This is the future.
Yeah, I have no idea who he is. Like, if he's vegan, then sure. I don't take a pre-workout. Thanks, Sego.
Now, in peacetime, after the fall of the regime, after the war, it's really unusual. Patrick's case raises significant questions for security agencies, particularly since we know that he was on their radar.
Clay pleaded with Patrick in voice messages to come home. His son refused.
Dad, please do not buy a plane ticket. I'm definitely not getting on it. Yeah, that's not good. Thank you.
On New Year's Eve, Patrick was arrested in the Syrian town of Darkush over the fatal shooting of another Australian man.
Syrian authorities allege Patrick Stevenson fired at least 8 shots from an AK-47, killing the Australian inside his own home. Patrick's parents were told the investigation initially looked at whether the killing was accidental or if their son had links to the Islamic State group. Ultimately, both were ruled out and he was charged with murder.
We've been advised by GFAT that he had made a confession.
Would you say 1,000 to 1,600 is what men should strive to have normal T levels? You can't control your testosterone levels, dude, unless you take testosterone.
At that time, to a judge or the police after being questioned, and we don't know whether or not that is in English or Arabic, or if their confession is written or witnessed.
Patrick's alleged victim was another Australian convert, Abdullah Burgess.
Abdullah Burgess was 40 years old and used to be known as Glenn. Before he moved to Syria, he worked as a tree lopper and lived on a
These people are fucking retarded. I would love to see Hassan meltdown if Abdul loses. Can you even imagine? Abdul said, inshallah, they will win. That tells you everything you need to know. Yeah, that'd be great. Hopefully he loses, but we'll see. Thanks, Dodo.
Damia farm with his wife and daughters here in northern New South Wales, just across the border from Patrick.
Soft-spoken, gentle sort of guy.
Abdullah's widow. The Syrian legal system can allow a widow to intervene and spare the accused the death penalty in exchange for payment. Abdullah's widow declined to speak with the ABC. Patrick's family has engaged lawyer Bernadette Zayden to represent them in Australia and internationally.
Will take their course overseas, of course.
Jeez, retards. Total retards.
I'm here with Dr. Andrew Wingy.
It's Norwegian. Yeah, you pronounce the E.
It's a very white country you originate from, sir. And the reason I bring that up is not because I'm trying to be funny. It's because there are some differences between ethnic groups and racial groups when it comes to today's topic, which is preventing an early heart attack, with particular notion to preventing a heart attack as is caused by ASCVD. And the only way that I know to prevent ASCVD, outside of all the usual suspects, eat well, train well, sleep well, is actually and unfortunately via medication. And I'm going to start with the first question of today because it does sound controversial in this world of just be natural, just do everything naturally.
Yeah.
I have never, and I mean never, not one, out of hundreds of pieces of blood work that I've seen, I've never seen someone who has had a ApoB be able to lower their ApoB below 60, below 50 even, which would be my target, naturally. I've never seen it.
Yeah, very rare. Very rare. You know, and those people, a lot of times they have, they're genetically protected. So we'll talk about like the PCSK9 inhibitors, but one of the ways they developed those is they found people who had naturally occurring PCSK9 mutations. And so they did run around their entire lives with ApoBs of like 20.
There's actually all the cholesterol lowering medications, statins, PCSK9, and ezetimibe. There's actually genetic mutations that work on the same pathways those medications target.
You know, or 30. And lo and behold, those people do not develop cardiovascular disease.
Ever.
Almost everybody gets a little bit if they live long enough, even these people, but their death rate from ASCVD is microscopic. You know, they still die of other things. They still get cancer and, you know, they have strokes and, you know, high blood pressure and all those sorts of things, but they don't get atherosclerosis because of the mutation. So we can talk about this. It's one of the lines of evidence, you know, that really does point to ApoB as a causal agent. People don't like hearing that, but listen, that is the way the human body is built, and you just have to deal with it. So you're right. I mean, it's very challenging to get down to those low levels, and we can talk about how, like, where
hot body women, LMAO. Okay. Thanks, dude.
Where did those numbers come from? You know, the targets that you set out there. What, you know, how low is low, and how low is there such a thing as?
If you're on testosterone replacement therapy, I generally recommend to at least eventually target over 2,000 nanograms per deciliter. That seems to be where most men feel the best and get the best results from TRT. Some people can't get their levels that high, at least initially, just because of aromatization. So you may have to just build up a tolerance for exogenous androgens until you can get up there. Kid Boo.
A fuck nigga, that's that shit I don't like. A snitch nigga, that's that shit I don't like. A pop bitch, that's that shit I don't like. Sneak dizzes, that's that shit I don't like. Like, don't like, don't like, don't don't like.
Thanks, Kid Vu.
It's too low. We've had some, we didn't know that when I was coming up in medical school. I've been
Wanted to get a testosterone test, but my doctor wants a reason like lethargy, low mood. Should I lie? Yeah, obviously. It's fucking stupid.
physician now. It was 26 years, and these were kind of unanswered questions back when I was learning and I was in residency, but we actually have pretty good answers to those questions now. So that's why you and I have been talking for a long time about lipid lowering therapy for you, even though your lipids are not that bad. They're not that bad by conventional standards, but if you want to completely avoid developing atherosclerosis, unfortunately, you can't have lipid panels that quote aren't too bad or are normal or even better than average. Unfortunately, all the data points to really getting that ApoB, down. I mean, you got to do all the other stuff too that you mentioned. I mean, that goes without saying, but it's ApoB.
Don't want it too high because I care about side effects like hair loss, testicular shrinkage. Okay, congratulations, you're a retard.
Is really important. It's really important, and people will dispute that, but the people that study this for a living, there's no argument about it at this point. This is settled science, and the people who are actually like experts in this field. So it is what it is. That's the human body is. It is what it is, and that's what we have to deal with. So you're right. Yeah, most people, if you want to get an ApoB under 60, which is probably a reasonable goal. Like if you want to just halt atherosclerosis, it's probably somewhere below 60 for a man with lifestyle, especially if, you're running around at 100, 120.
I have always been between 100 to 120.
Yeah.
My father, my brothers, most people in my family tree have this number.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I wouldn't consider myself fat, but I wouldn't consider myself lean. However, there have been periods of time where I have been leaner and also been on an extremely low carbohydrate diet.
Yep.
It didn't do very much.
No, there's a floor, a genetic floor where, the lifestyle, you can't lifestyle your way below that. And that's a genetically mediated thing. So, your set point is what it is. Mine is what mine is. Other people may have higher or lower, but there's very few people walking around close to 60 on their ApoB. Or like, I guess an equivalent to that would, if you're used to thinking about LDL, it's like LDLs of like 50, 55.
Okay.
That's pretty low. You generally need meds to get there.
Let's define the target audience for today's chat. So the people watching, the people we are trying to target are the other very smart INTJs that accept ApoB is causal. So let's not even worry about trying to convince people that ApoB is causal for ASCVD. Presuming all these people, these very smart people.
Total waste of time. Don't even bother with retards.
Like I said, are in the room right now. Why would we want to bring ApoB to 30 instead of 50, or is 60 enough? Why not bring it to 0 is actually my question.
Yeah, that's a great question. And the level that you want to, obviously the level that you want to bring it down to is the level at which you halt plaque progression. All right. So, what is that level? Like, do we have any studies that can help us with that? And it turns out that we do. Now, you got to keep in mind that like, this is just
for secondary prevention. If you already have established heart disease or have suffered a heart attack, it needs to be lower. Like the lower, the better. There doesn't appear to be, a cutoff where you don't receive any more benefit for secondary prevention with lowering ApoB.
Just a general recommendation based off of the hundreds and a few thousand people that have been enrolled in these studies. It may not be the number that's specific for you. If there's big genetic components to this. If you have terrible lifestyle, if you're morbidly obese, you're inflamed, you're insulin resistant, your triglycerides are through the roof, and you chain smoke, you might still build plaque with an ApoB at 60. The intravascular ultrasound, they seem to be able to stop plaque progression and actually have the beginnings of regression somewhere around ApoBs of about 60 or less. And the lower you get, the more plaque regression you get along with that. So that's where this number has come from, right? So if you're
not retarded for caring about side effects, you're retarded because you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, and what you said is stupid. You're going to have testicular shrinkage on testosterone in all likelihood, no matter what the dose is. It causes HPTA shutdown. So if you're on like a tiny, minuscule amount, you're going to have testicular shrinkage. And it's not affected by the dose. So you saying you don't want your test levels too high because you don't want your testicles to shrink, it literally doesn't matter. So your testicles will shrink however much they'll shrink. I personally haven't noticed testicular shrinkage. Generally speaking, the average amount of testicular shrinkage you're going to get from testosterone is around 15%. I don't know if that's enough for most men to even notice any testicular shrinkage. And you can go on HCG simultaneously to prevent testicular shrinkage anyway. Same with the hair loss. There's hair loss medications, so you'd have roughly the same risk of hair loss. Being on TRT is not being on TRT if you were to just take something like finasteride or dutasteride or topical dutasteride or minoxidil.
You're super healthy, you might be able to have a slightly higher ApoB. Maybe it's 70 and not grow plaque. Maybe it's even 80. I don't know. There's a lot of moving pieces to this, right? This is not, we don't want to be reductionist and just oversimplify this very complex process, which is the development of atherosclerotic plaque. So there's going to be some fuzziness there on the individual level. But generally speaking, if you shoot for 60, you're going to be pretty well protected based on all the available studies that we have now, because those are all the studies that have shown you don't really get plaque progression when you have ApoB levels of 60 or less. So you don't need to be that aggressive, most likely.
Let's talk about me. Me. And the reason I want to talk about me is actually not me, because a lot of the people that follow me, and fortunately for them, they don't have what you have, which is a genetic condition, you could say. I mean, you have been dealt a shitty card when it comes to heart disease risk.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lipoprotein A. Yeah.
Lipoprotein A, you're in the 20% or less population, right?
Yep.
But I have my own issues. Everyone has their own issues. I'm in that group where, for whatever reason, you can't bring ferritin down. You just can't. You know, and that has risks of its own. But I wasn't dealt neither a great or a bad card when it comes to ApoB and LPA. It's very much in the middle.
No.
But like I said, everyone in my family has it. Even the smokers and non-smokers, the drinkers and non-drinkers, even the healthiest, and I would be in that bucket in my family. I don't have any lower ApoB than them.
Right.
Okay. Now, I want to bring my ApoB down below 60. And if it is hovering at 100 to 120, I'm probably going to get a 50% reduction from the PCSK9 inhibitors. So we're looking at a 50 to...
PCSK9 inhibitors are absurdly expensive. Unfortunately, they're still a patented medication, so there's no generic form of the medication. I can't remember exactly what the cost of PCSK9 inhibitors are, but it's far outside of what a normal person would be able to afford. Like, you really do legitimately have to be rich. The only time you're going to ever be able to get your health insurance to pay for a PCSK9 inhibitor is if you're in a high-risk category and you're non-responsive to all other cholesterol-lowering medications. So if you're rich, I'm pretty sure this guy's rich. He said he's a millionaire. You can just pay out of pocket, but you're not going to be able to, like, again, if you're a normal person, you're not going to be able to pay for a PCSK9 inhibitor.
60 score.
And I don't think there's any underground laboratories making PCSK9 inhibitors, like on the black market. So I don't think that's an avenue either.
On ApoB within 2 months of administering my first injection. Now, for the audience listening, the PCSK9 inhibitors do a little dance and bring your ApoB down. Let's not worry about the mechanism of action because most people don't care for that. They just know ApoB lower, I live longer, I don't die from ACVD, caveman happy. Caveman over here happy. Okay?
Yeah.
So I bring it, fair explanation?
Okay. I can talk about the mechanism if you want to, because I geek out on that stuff, but best. So yeah, your blood vessels are a pipe, but they're very flexible, rubbery. There's living tissue, right? So the surface of your blood vessels that comes into contact with your blood, it has a single cell layer thick, the very first layer, this endothelium. It's just a single cell layer. It's very, very thin. Okay. Nutrients and oxygen and CO2 and all sorts of metabolites, they pass in and out, from your blood into the tissue, into the cells that are around your pipe. So ApoB is also one of those things that goes in and out, and it gets transported into and beneath that layer. It's only one cell thick, so it gets in there. Now, when it gets in there, a lot of times it doesn't do anything. It passes right through, it comes back out, but a certain percentage of those little ApoB particles become oxidized and they get retained and they stick. They are not ejected or they don't pass through. And a small percentage of those elicit, for whatever reason, I don't think anybody fundamentally knows why, but they elicit an inflammatory response in that endothelial layer, okay? The body doesn't like that. It calls in the immune system to say, clear out this damaged oxidized particle. I don't want it there. And so these cells called monocytes come in, they chew it up. The problem is these cells that are chewing it up you know, they become damaged from they basically overconsume, you could say, these ApoB particles, and they accumulate inside, and then the cholesterol kind of spills out and it damages these monocytes. So, you know, when a cell comes in to clean out debris, it's supposed to come in, clean out the debris, and then it's supposed to leave. And then, you know, the tissue is restored to whatever it was before. In this case, these cleanup cells, these dump trucks that come to like get rid of this entire world on lipid.
What are the downsides of finasteride side effects wise? I took it regular when I was 17 to 19 because more plates more dates made it seem like it had no side effects and I was retarded.
Frequently causes depression. It can also cause reduction in muscular strength and power, and it's pretty rare, but there's a thing called post-finasteride syndrome that may in fact be permanent, where you can have erectile dysfunction. Thanks, Kyle. Oh yeah, and it some people do report just general reduced penile sensitivity and pleasure when orgasming.
Lowering therapy, like probably not, even though statins now are dirt cheap. And there's problems with statins. We should talk about that too. There's a reason why you're not on a statin. You're going to be taking a PCSK9. So there's a lot of people that don't tolerate statins. So, you know, there's issues there. It's nice that we have more options now. But anyway, this is a disease that, I mean, it gets a hold in your, it gets a foothold in your artery very, very early in life. And I don't think that's appreciated. People don't, again, it's kind of typical human nature, right? You don't even think about addressing a problem until it's actually a problem. And
Bro, humans are dumb.
By that point, it's
straight up. Humans are fucking stupid, and the only reason I'm in the top 0.1% or 0.01% of wealth is not because I'm smart. It's because of how fucking stupid everyone else is.
Right.
That is
yeah.
It's important that we dispel commonly held myths and commonly held beliefs, because if 50 million people...
How does one travel if they take exogenous testosterone? Were you able to bring steroids with you to Australia?
Sometimes they don't care. There's a lot of people who just bring underground steroids with them and they don't give a shit. I didn't risk it. I just didn't bring my steroids. I was only there for 2 weeks, so it's not a big fucking deal. If you have a prescription, you just take your prescription. Thanks, Lead.
Believe a lie, and I know it's a lie, I'm still going to say that's fucking retarded. And this is one of those things where it's up to people like me and you to talk about this cholesterol thing, because you know, you just have thousands, if not millions of dudes walking around thinking that their six-pack abs is going to save them from a heart attack, and it's not. And in fact,
will not. It will not.
It will not. In fact, it feels like the dudes that are training a lot, the dudes here in Bali.
I'm not thinking of taking any new steroids.
They're slightly more at risk because of how much they train. I mean, I know so many dudes who are getting heart attacks during training.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And that, you know, overtraining is a real thing.
Inflammatory.
I mean, it's inflammatory, right? So, you know, there is an inflammatory component to atherosclerosis, obviously. And so, you know, I don't want to make it sound like...
Inflammation is not a real predictive risk factor for atherosclerosis. There's actually just recently a new trial that tried to use anti-inflammatory drugs to treat heart disease, and it targeted the IL-6 inflammatory pathway, which is the inflammation that actually occurs in your artery. Did absolutely nothing. Zero benefit. It did not prevent cardiac events or deaths. So, like, you know, as a heuristic, yeah, sure, inflammation's not great for you. You want to eat anti-inflammatory foods and all that and reduce stress, but it's not it's a weak predictor at best. And again, there's drug trials on inflammation and heart disease, and they all completely and utterly fail. They do nothing.
ApoB is the only thing you have to worry about, right? Inflammation is a big deal. The air quality you mentioned, you know, breathing in that sort of chronically toxic air. I mean, those are, what do you think, how do you think your body responds to those chemicals, right? It mounts an inflammatory response. That's why cigarette smoke, I mean, why does cigarette smoking accelerate atherosclerosis? It causes inflammation within those vessels. You get more ApoB deposited there than you would if you were not a smoker.
I'm pretty sure that's not actually the mechanism. I'm pretty sure like the actual smoke and tar and whatever the fuck you're inhaling actually just goes into the artery. And it may make the artery wall a bit more permeable.
As we can. And the reason I want to circle back to ApoB is because it's that one thing, man, that you just objectively know you can completely remove the risk of ASCVD if you catch it early enough, but it is via a drug. It's not via an OTC thing. It's not niacin. It's a drug. It's a pharmaceutical drug. And that's why it's going to be the second thing in my protocol. I understand SGLT2 inhibitors, some of the peptides. I get that, but they are quite fringy, subjective-y. They're not as clear-cut as caveman, take tablet. ApoB, go down 50%. Heart attack risk, go down 10,000%.
We're at the point now. There's a guy, Tom Dayspring, who's he's like a world-renowned lipidologist. He's getting up there in years now, but you can find his podcast. Peter Attia has said this. Some of these other guys that we're right now, I think, is the first time in history where we can say, now that we have these PCSK9 drugs and with the level of knowledge that we have, that it's optional to die from atherosclerosis. We have, as we know, are not cheap, right? But that's, the statins were not cheap at one point either. And the technology gets better and better. And there's stuff on the horizon too that will be even better than PCSK9s down the road potentially. So, science moves forward, costs tend to come down as technology advances. And who knows, with AI, there might be some new breakthroughs as well. But yeah, we're at the point now where I think, I used to kind of hedge on that a little bit, but I think those guys are right. I think those guys are right.
Absolutely. No doubt. It's really hard. People like me that don't have I wouldn't say medical background. In order to understand it, you have to have the chemistry background. You don't have to be a doctor to understand it, but obviously as an MD, the amount of units you're sitting in chemistry allow you to understand this stuff and to be able to make your own opinion. So
and it's the same with lipids, like you're right. These influencers, the Gary Breckers of the world, and people listen to them. It's like, it's so tiresome to argue this point on the internet. I'm just like, do me a favor, go do 1,000 hours on lipids and cardiovascular disease and then come back and we can have a conversation about it.
Is he not killing people? Is he not going to get sued one day?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, I don't know. All I know is that he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about in about 95% of the stuff that he talks about, especially when it comes into anything medical and in the world of lipids. Like the shit that he says about lipids is honestly like 15 to 20 years out of date. He talks about particle sizes, and it doesn't matter if you've got large LDLs, it's only the small dense. Like, bro, this stuff has been, like, that question has been answered, but he's still talking about it. The guy, he has an undergraduate degree in biology. That's it. He has an undergraduate degree in biology. So, if you want to take cardiovascular disease advice, if you want to put your cardiovascular, you probably won't find very
correct,
much.
Bro. And I'll just say, before we get into doses, because I know we need to get into dosages of PCSK9, one of the things you told me, which stuck with me, because I have medicinophobia, meaning I'm the guy that always feels all the side effects, and I'm always worried about the unknown unknowns, and which, fair enough, some people actually do get more side effects than others.
They do.
A lot of the time it is in there.
Roller coasters are okay. I just don't like lines for roller coasters. And yeah, I've been to Canada's Wonderland.
Maybe it's in my head half the time. But this was one of those things where you said, when lowering ApoB, let's say it did nothing beneficial for you to lower it. Let's presume.
Okay.
Is it harmful to lower ApoB? And then you said, have a look if you can find anything. And I couldn't. Whereas with a lot of these health ailments, there does seem to be a bit of a yin and yang. You do one good thing, but maybe that happens. You do this good thing, but the side effects are too severe, like with the retatrutide and the GLP-1s. I am not going to be taking anything that increases my heart rate that much or slows digestion. No. I'm not doing any of that. So when it came to this, I thought, well, I'm not taking statins. I know too many people personally that the muscle soreness issues are just a thing. And I've seen fasting insulin go up. But PCSK9s, and man, did I look. This just seems like a bit of a wonder drug.
They're very clean. They're very clean drugs. Very clean.
Unfortunately, remarkably absurdly expensive.
Because they don't, all drugs are poisons, right? To some extent. But this is a drug, without getting too deep into the mechanism, that essentially allows you to utilize the cholesterol that's in your blood more efficiently. It keeps your LDL receptors active and up on the cell surface. So we're not poisoning the lipid or the cholesterol synthesis enzymes. We're not spilling over into other systems and having toxicity there. It's a very clean drug that just keeps those receptors fresh. It keeps them available, and it just helps move the cholesterol from the bloodstream where, it's going to keep running into that endothelial wall, and it brings it into the cell where the cell can use it. All right. So
very specific drug.
Yeah. It's very specific. It's a very specific cholesterol and heart disease and God forbid statins, like there were comments on your, I think it was your Instagram, somebody said statins are evil. They're like the definition of evil or something, and I'm sure they were just, they're it's a little bit tongue in cheek, but like really,
bro,
It's
people
been
are
around
just
for like
fucking
40 years,
stupid.
man. Huh?
People are just fucking stupid. As in,
Well-
man, the bigger your Instagram gets or your social media gets, the more you see how fucking stupid cunts are. And I'm saying this without trying to offend people.
No.
I'm just genuinely a concerned citizen of the world. That's where it's coming from. You know, I'm not
Yeah.
smart. I'm just smart enough to know that there are people way smarter than me, but there are fucking so many dumb cunts, bro. As in, I spoke to a friend who does these, you know, masculine coaching things. And I was like, bro, the reason these guys aren't seeing results is because their IQs are too fucking low. They're never going to get it. They're just never going to get it. Doesn't matter how you try and help them. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's a born thing.
Yeah.
And when it comes to this decision, this is a born thing. They are just so easily brainwashed by something that just seems pretty to them.
Yeah. Well, that's why it gets back to that's why the Gary Breckos of the world have a massive audience. For me, with my LP(a), the fact that I have plaque in my coronary, for me, like I'm on a statin. I'm on a statin, and I will stay on a statin until the day comes when I can get on an affordable PCSK9. In which case, then I'll probably drop the statin and just get on the PCSK9.
This month, brah, let's get you on a PCSK9. You know,
Yeah.
I think of the statins as well. Let's say they were comparable drugs with regards to side effects. The statins just don't fucking bring it down like the PCSK9s do they?
Not quite. Rosuvastatin, like if you can stack rosuvastatin with ezetimibe, which is kind of my favorite low-cost pill combo, you can get close in some people with that. But
Some
you're right.
people, that's very...
There's variable response, right? It's variable response. But you're right. Like if you're looking at single agent, there's nothing better than Repatha and glycerin, right? That's the big daddy right now.
I've already been on a bit of an androlone. I'm also on Tren right now, which is a very similar drug.
But if you can't afford it, which dude, a lot of people can't, it's $800 to $1,000 US a month. It's a lot of money for people. So
let me tell you how much it cost in the end, because I got a slight discount.
Okay.
It was for one box, $355 per.
That's the lowest price. So
yeah, that's really low. I don't know how the fuck you got it for that cheap.
That's a box. You go through 2 boxes a month.
2 boxes a month, and the brand, because there is a different brand name. This one I showed you the photo, but it is a different brand name.
Yeah.
It is called, and it's very popular. It's called Evolucumab.
Yeah, Evolucumab. Yeah, which is Repatha. Yeah.
Oh, it's Repatha. It does say Repatha.
Yeah,
Sorry, this is Repatha.
Yeah, it's just they love to give these.
No, I'm not going to change to acetate. I don't know why I do that.
Unpronounceable names to these new monoclonal antibodies.
Auto injector. Is this? I haven't even looked into this. Is this oily solution?
It's a pen. Yeah.
It's not oily solution, or it is?
No, it's aqueous.
Aqueous.
Yeah.
I hope this shit don't die while I'm traveling.
No, but I wouldn't. Don't bake it. Don't. It's a monoclonal antibody.
Get blood work done and then share labs.
So it's heat sensitive. Make sure you keep it
on the plane.
Don't let it
Maybe
get hot.
Keep it with me.
What's that?
Should I keep it on the plane with me?
Yeah, I probably would.
Okay.
Yeah.
To say
They were okay with that?
Yeah. Let's see. Do a post real quick on Instagram story, and yeah, that's bad. It is what it is. It's got its pros and cons. Still can't go into bars and stuff. But do you take any hair loss medications or no?
No.
Wow. Okay.
Nothing.
Are you against all that kind of stuff, like pharma?
Some of it, man. I think the side effects are interesting. You got to be careful. It's tricky. Like, I mean, the DHT stuff is interesting to me.
Yeah.
It's like it's such an important androgen that I don't want to block it systemically, but I think it's tricky. I think losing your hair is also not great either. So I think I've got genetics that allow me to keep my hair.
Yeah, but what about DHT really, do you mean?
Well, like, minoxidil, for instance, right? If you block systemic DHT synthesis, is that going to have, I guess minoxidil doesn't, but like dutasteride, yeah. Like if you do that, what are you gonna do to your body long term by blocking the DHT? And then there's long term finasteride and dutasteride like syndromes in some people. So that shit kind of scares me.
My whole thing is like with the twin studies, the only real thing, even like developmentally, is just the penile growth from DHT. Like the one twin who's deficient had a micro penis, and the one twin who didn't. Oh, and the vocal cords as well.
Yeah.
But besides that, after you're already finished with development, then I just don't see a necessity for it. And my whole thing is like,
Again, it affects a lot of things. Mood, cognition, alertness. Again, it does affect your nervous system as well. People with lower DHT levels, they tend to have less muscle strength and power.
Even if my dick stopped working and fell off entirely, I'd rather that happen than lose my hair. Yeah. Dude, I mean, like, think about it.
No way.
You're going to be sexist anyway.
I want to make sure that I'm as most attracted to girls so that when I'm about to have sex with them, I can't have sex with them. That makes sense.
If you're bald.
There are so many guys who are bald that look reasonably good.
Cope. No, it's you'll be sexless regardless. So there's no point having a dick if you're bald. In my opinion.
Do you have genetics for?
That is the most retarded shit I've ever heard in my fucking life.
For like hair loss? What is your mom's dad?
Yeah, because Andrew Tate has never had sex, right? Like, I mean.
Yeah, there's a whole hereditary thing. My mom's dad still has a full head of hair at like 75. So I think I'll be okay, but regardless, I've been taking my DUT since I was 18.
Yeah.
So I'm on DUT and Minox.
Yeah. I just do like a red light hat. Have you seen those?
Yeah, I've seen the red light masks, and I know they have those
they
as well.
They have the caps too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, it's red light, it's infrared. Supposedly, there's some evidence for that. Like,
probably never.
But you're never.
Yeah.
But you're starting to think about food more now. You told me.
Yeah.
You're starting to get healthier.
Yeah.
Because like you said a couple months ago when you were streaming all the time, you were just fast food all the time. And now you're starting to think about food.
Yeah.
So this is
absolutely.
Good. We're turning over a new leaf.
I've been eating a lot more steak, a lot more eggs, and like Whole Foods.
Great.
Yeah.
Nice and retarded.
I just need to find like some better carbohydrate sources.
Okay.
I mean, like pre-workout, I'll usually just have like bagels or some shit.
Okay, we can talk about that. Let's start with the meat.
Okay.
Let's go get some meat. Yeah.
Hey yo.
Let's go.
Let's go get some meat.
Let's go.
Oh yeah, 2 weak beta male twinks picking up meat from the grocery store.
Get some meat. Talking about dicks falling off and dutasteride.
Okay.
So do you have like stuff to cook at your house? Do you have pans?
Yeah. We have not exactly your favorite cast iron. I have Teflon pans.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
All right, I should have brought you other.
Well, because it's like brutal to cook. It like sticks to the fucking pan and it's all disgusting. I don't know, whether or not it's organic or grass fed.
Yes.
That's the last thing to worry about.
So in terms of protein, and tell me if you agree with this or what your sense is, I'm trying to get 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight.
Right, around there.
0.8, 1 is an overshoot for most people. If you're taking enhancement, if you're on testosterone or you want to use something stronger in androgen, you might do more than 1 gram. But for most people, if you're going to get a gram or 0.8 grams of protein per pound of goal body weight, you're going to be good.
Yep.
So this is one of my favorite cuts, sirloin flap. I just love the way it tastes. It has a great texture. A lot of people like ribeyes.
I am mostly going with New York's. I think ribeyes are just a bit too fatty.
Yeah, they can be.
New York's, this dry aged steak is kind of out of whack just from like tests and orals. So I was always too concerned with like, if I were to do 2 pounds of steak every day and all this extra cholesterol from foods, it might be too much, in the long run.
It's a special case, right? Do you know you're fasting insulin?
No.
We could think about it, or we could check.
Here we go, retard cholesterol denier. Oh, it doesn't matter if your cholesterol's high as long as your insulin's low. It just makes no sense. Fucking dumb.
It and circle
we
back.
should probably check it.
Yeah, we could check it and circle back because you really want to be metabolically healthy. So,
Yeah, and red meat will make sure you're not metabolically healthy. It causes type 2 diabetes.
Most people, I think if people are not doing tests, if you're not doing oral steroids, then, check your fasting insulin. My fasting insulin, food quality.
Obviously, it's a fattier cut.
Like, by the way, testosterone lowers cholesterol and it improves insulin sensitivity. So, according to Paul, every dude should be taking testosterone.
Huge.
Like, I don't know what argument Paul would have against taking testosterone with that in mind.
Clever.
I disagree. I mean,
Really?
I just don't perceive any difference.
You don't perceive any difference when you eat a burger from Burger King with the bun has like 45 ingredients, right? Versus if I were to give you a steak with fruit or a steak with like steamed potatoes and butter. No difference.
No.
Not in terms of irritability or the next time you're hungry, anything.
No, my main irritability thing would just be like whether my dopamine receptors are properly saturated or not. So that would kind of be what it.
Are you more of like a loner, or do you like interacting with people?
Loner. I have to like kind of block certain like excitatory neurotransmitters, like my glutamate, for example, which is like extremely high, with pregabalin a lot of the times to extreme, or I just won't be able to really like do anything.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right now, it's not like a super stimulating like environment, or if I'm just like, regular daytime streams, I don't need it, but nightlife, certainly when there's like a lot happening or busy club,
Yeah. I imagine there's a lot happening around you in the clubs.
Yeah, for sure. So that's.
This is different than your usual environment, bro.
Yeah, this is a lot more chill.
This is
you know
super
what I mean?
chill. The lighting's not very good, but it's super chill.
I know. But yeah, so that's kind of what it comes down to. So I'm wondering like how I can like maximize my serotonin, because I think that's like, I've been doing some experimenting, talking to different friends of mine, and it seems like that's kind of like what's been identified.
Have you tried like tryptophan or precursors, 5-HTP, none of that stuff?
No.
Okay.
Never. Never tried any of that.
How's your sleep?
Sleep is ideal.
Really?
That's the one thing that's dialed in. Yeah, I always get at least 7 hours of sleep every day,
Okay.
usually 8. So.
That surprises me, but that's great.
Really?
Well, I mean, from the outside, your life looks a little crazy, bro. Too much
That is not anabolic.
of your diet, not great, but
It just like makes you shit yourself.
depending on the protein powder. The bad ones do.
Yeah.
The bad ones do. There's some good ones. So, do you know how to navigate eggs? Do you think about this at all?
So you want me to like rank them from like worst quality to?
Yeah. What do you think is the best here?
You know what? I think I'll react to the rest of that on tomorrow's stream. That'd probably make more sense.
Question hangs over Russia. Is it true that its population meekly absorbs tyranny without rising up? And if so, why? The internet's answer is 3 words: the slavery gene. Before we deconstruct that answer, we've got to look at what makes it seem true, which is a few sources of Russian cultural passivity. One of the sources of Russian cultural passivity is language. It's a language that makes it hard to escape out of the passive voice. Do you want ice cream? Yes, I want ice cream. In Russian, a wanting for ice cream has come over me. Now let's move to football.
Whoa.
So why did you lose the match? Не
That's
получилось.
weird.
It hasn't turned out. Не пошло. It didn't get going. Не вышло. It didn't come off. Не удалось. It didn't succeed. Now, excuse me, you lost the match and you are speaking as though you weren't there. So sporting failure descends like rain from the sky without agency. If you try this level of passivity in English, you'll look suspicious. For instance, mistakes were made is a cliché of political dishonesty in English, but in Russian, it sounds normal. Now, here is the problem. Ukrainian is passive too. Does this make Ukrainians passive? Yes, Ukrainian language takes Ukrainians toward passivity, but Ukrainians have myths and ideals that give them access to political agency and take them out of the kind of political resignation that besets most Russians. You can see some of that difference on the front line. On average, Ukrainian soldiers deal with tragedy and triumph with a bit more agency. And as a result, they feel a bit fresher and a bit less alien to us Westerners. Though partly that's about Ukrainians knowing why they're at the front, whereas the Russian soldiers mostly don't. The second source of Russian passivity is the fog of history. So just like in our first point, agency disappears from language, here judgment disappears from the sense of the past. When the USSR collapsed, Soviet crimes became undeniable. But instead of a civic reckoning with the past, Russia collapsed into depoliticization, humiliation, and inequality. The past became just debris available for reuse. The idea was not to rehabilitate Stalin as a communist, but to rehabilitate him as a blank slate onto which anyone could project anything they want. And on my last few visits to Russia in the late 2010s, I noticed this. A bust of Stalin went up in the city, and much of the cultural elite were trying to justify this in terms of, we don't know what he was really about, but he couldn't have been that bad. So Stalin became a criminal, a hero, an effective manager, a necessary evil, left-wing, right-wing, depending on the day of the week. The only definite fact about him was that he was there, central in Russian history. So Russia made, in a very strange way, the legacy of Stalin undecidable. Levada polls, which we should take with a pinch of salt, have shown a rise in positive attitude towards Stalin as a cipher. In 2019, Levada found that 70% of Russians approved of Stalin's role in Russian history, a record at the time. In 2025, Stalin again appeared at the top of Levada's most outstanding people ranking. Now, how old is this stuff? The 1990s, roughly. That is when Russia began to post-truthicate its own history. And this got intensified in the Putin era, especially starting from that slot 2012 to 2014, when Putinist propaganda intensified and Putin aligned himself in a Wagnerian way with the cultural destiny of the Russian people. So don't underestimate how much this is caused by Russian propaganda. In part, this is a case of people thinking X because of the power other people have over them. The third source of Russian passivity is the normal country trap, which is a kind of Fukuyamian passivity with a racist twang. You can immediately recognize this when Russians talk about joining the civilized world, and when asked about what kind
No, fats don't convert into testosterone.
of future they want for their country, they answer a normal one. It's a naive form of teleology. It assumes that there is a singular thing called democratic capitalism, and some countries are meant to join it. This is roughly early Fukuyama plus racism, because on the Russian picture of it, only white people are expected to join it. And join is the word. This is a passive picture of politics in which your future is something you join, not something you build and create. You outsource your future to a magical idea of the West, which is of course ludicrous, because the West is no one thing. It's a bunch of different political systems that have a lot in common, and it's also a bunch of struggling political systems. So you can't just join the West without actually having active proposals to how to solve some of the problems the West is facing.
What's your WPM?
You expect me to know what the fuck that is? Thanks, dude.
That it can't itself solve right now. And of course, the kind of passive anti-communism of this view is particularly ironic, because it subscribes to a kind of primitive view of historical progress and economic determinism that primitive Marxism subscribes to. And this is why John Gray likes to remark that in the 20th century, in 1917 and in the 1990s, Russia was a site of two experiments in Western utopia: Marxist-Leninism and neoliberalism, both agreeing with one another on some very caricatural ideas about how if you fix the economy, everything else follows. And I was a victim of this depoliticized idealization of the West as a child. I left the Soviet Union aged 9 in 1990. And before I left, I thought the West was a kind of utopia in which not only the politics and the economics were got right, but people's inner lives were also tranquil. And this exasperatingly naive view flourished not just among children, but among adults at the end of the Soviet experiment. A fourth source...
I wouldn't classify Nick Shirley as a grifter. He has his political biases, but I haven't really seen any evidence of grifting.
Also of Russian passivity is territorial passivity. And here I direct us to the videos we did at the time that Ukraine invaded Russia into the Kursk Oblast. Many Russians don't experience their country as a country, but as a territory on which there is a political authority that happens to rule them. This is a colonial relationship with Russian power that Russians have, which means that their sense of their border...
Yeah, Sweden's a dumb faggot country. They literally make it illegal for you to be muscular. And they let in a bunch of Muslim immigrants that like just murder people, rape women, cause crime. And they also have a big problem with guns, of course. I'd never go to Sweden. Just a fucking retarded, just degenerate fucking European liberal shithole. And they just force you to be broke and poor. All your money just goes to taxes to pay for illegal immigrants.
Are flexible, because if this political authority goes and another one comes along and our borders change in the process, then perhaps who cares? Given this is a moment to ask but not answer Andrei Zorin's question. What would it mean for Russian culture to survive, and indeed flourished, if Russia ceased to exist as a state? A fifth source of Russian passivity is propaganda, which we mentioned a moment ago. As the great Dutch philosopher Spinoza taught us, you can't compel belief. But you can force people politically to shut up. And if you keep people inarticulate about their beliefs long enough, in a majority, those beliefs begin to retreat into the subconscious. And Putin's regime has run a quarter-century experiment in drilling it into people's heads that they are alone and that all attempts at collective political action are futile.
Words per minute.
I think I've gotten to around 80. Thanks, sir.
Now, the Soviet Union also encouraged passivity among citizens who didn't want to sing the ideological song of the day until Glasnost in the late 1980s. But it was brief, and it was also encouraged from the top. Gorbachev told people, you can gather and you can speak. And very soon Putin confiscated this.
Yeah.
So we've said a bit about distinctively Russian passivity, but in many ways, Russian passivity is not distinctive at all. Russia...
Well, also don't forget the alcoholism problem in Russia. I think vodka has a huge impact on Russian passivity.
Also strikingly represents two forms of modern passivity that are global and affect you wherever you are in the world. Now, the first source of global passivity that is not original or unique to Russia is a product of an ethical failure. The ethical failure is caused by value liquidity, which makes strangers feel ethically unreal. A philosopher would call this a collapse of thin relations. Thin ethical relations, the relations you have with strangers. Thick relations, the relations you have with people you actually know. And what we've got is a global crisis, whereby people care about the people they know, but increasingly their care for strangers has collapsed from low to nothing. Late philosopher Alistair MacIntyre gives us a stark image of where this comes from. Imagine that the natural sciences were to suffer the effects of a catastrophe. Laboratories are burned down, books and instruments are destroyed. Later, enlightened people seek to revive science, although they have largely forgotten what it was. All they possess are fragments, parts of theories, instruments whose use has been forgotten, half chapters from books, single pages from articles, torn and charred. Nonetheless, all these fragments are re-embodied in a set of practices which go under the revived names of physics, chemistry and biology. Children learn by heart the surviving portions of the periodic table and recite as incantations some of the theorems of Euclid. Nobody, or almost nobody, realizes that what they're doing is not natural science in any proper sense at all. Those contexts which would be needed to make sense of what they're doing have been lost, perhaps irreversibly. The hypothesis which I wish to advance is that the language of morality is in the same state of grave disorder as the language of the natural science in the imaginary world I described. Let's break down MacIntyre's provocation. What MacIntyre is saying is that we still use words like human rights, freedom, dignity, justice, but the social fabric needed for us to use these words coherently is mostly gone. This hits thin relations hard. Thick relations survive the collapse of moral language better because they're based on memory, love, loyalty, a shared history and a common life. So how screwed are we? We have three possible responses. The first response is local and pessimistic. Moral life has collapsed at the level of large modern societies, so serious ethical life can only now be preserved in smaller communities. This is McIntyre's view, and it's pessimistic. Second, we have a liberal reconstructive response. The collapse is real, but it is partial and mostly reversible. We can rebuild a shared moral language. This response is optimistic. Third, we have a tragic reconstructive response. The loss is mostly irreversible, but we can maintain rational hope in a partial reconstruction. We can live truthfully without despair with what we have left, and we can improve thin relations without a reconstruction of moral language. We should try for this. We don't know if it will work. Time will tell. This response is realistic. It is Nietzsche's response, probably, and also mine. Now let's move on. The second source of global passivity that's not unique to Russia is a product of a political failure. Social liquidity, making people find politics unreal. So if the ethical failure makes people find strangers morally unreal because of value liquidity, the political failure makes citizens find politics unreal because of social liquidity. So this is about a word I use a lot, which is depoliticization. What happens is that people stop engaging with politics, or they engage with politics non-politically, as a vehicle for consumption or identity expression, or they engage with politics destructively because it doesn't make sense to them, and that makes them very frightened, and they want to destroy it. Of course, there is individual failure, but this is not mainly a story about individual failure. It's not reducible to people being stupid or people being morally malign. It's a product of social forces out in the world making our societies more liquid. Here is Mark Lilla.
I would have liked to deliver a sermon calling on the defenders of democracy to man the barricades and fight for our values. But the deeper forces that are at work in our societies today will have a more profound effect on us and on you and on the Ukrainians than the current situation will. If we really want to protect our democracies, our first task intellectually is to understand these forces, which are not local, they are not national, they're furniture.
He probably has a similar view to mine, and I list at least 4. Number 1, the state of the internet enclosing us in a world of mental and fact bubbles. Number 2, individualistic ideologies of self-realization that preclude citizens dealing with one another in terms of solidarity and a common belonging to a shared polity.
Oh, and lefties really want to fucking destroy that. Yeah, that cultural enrichment bullshit. Yeah, you don't need to be around people who are like you.
Number 3, the untethering of social bonds. Number 4, exclusion and profound inequality of economic power. In Russia, inequality is extreme, and that's why the best commentators on Russia, like...
It's hard to say if Canadians are smarter than Americans at this point. They keep voting liberal, so I'm losing faith in that.
Dmitry Gluchovsky and Greg Yudin say that Russia breaks down into 2 classes. A class who...
Dude, like, it's just so hard to explain this to people who live outside of Canada. We had 10 years of a liberal government that made us more fucking broke and poor, raised cost of living in literally every aspect. So all goods, all services, including housing, both rent and home prices, skyrocketed. Crime, especially violent crime, skyrocketed. Liberals caused a fucking, at least, bare minimum, a doubling of firearms-related homicides. And like, this is the case for pretty much all violent crime, robberies, muggings, home invasions, like at least a doubling. And while this is going on, as crime is going up, they're trying to ban guns. So there's the handgun freeze, which isn't technically a ban. They can just snap their fingers and get rid of that whenever they want. So hopefully the Conservatives get elected and they can just immediately reverse that. But there's the handgun freeze. You can't buy any handguns. They arbitrarily banned a bunch of weapons that they called assault weapons. Just fucking retarded. Guess what? Shootings are still increasing. That did absolutely nothing to affect those statistics. So what do Canadians do? They vote Liberal again. And guess what's happening? More broken poor, goods and services are increasing, home prices are still fucking crazy. They're less than pandemic levels, but they're not going down. And the Liberal government is actually deliberately trying to keep an elevated price floor for housing, like with that fucking crazy condo bailout in BC. So they're deliberately trying to do everything they can to keep the price floor in housing. And it's primarily so that they get the boomer vote. There's still a large amount of boomers that vote Liberal. So if they reduce housing prices, they're going to lose voters in that big voting block. So they're basically fucking over everyone else just to appease boomers to get elected in. They're destroying the fucking country. They've basically, they're on the verge of completely annihilating a lot of Canadian industry because they're not able to get a deal with Donald Trump. Carney is just, corrupt as fuck. He actually didn't want to pass a budget. He just wanted to be able to spend like fucking crazy with impunity. He was eventually forced to pass a budget. Again, he ran on a platform. Oh, I'm going to balance the books. I'm not going to, raise national debt. He's raising national debt like fucking crazy. And it's also that he can support his own investment firm, Brookfield. He's doing this like stupid fucking horseshit like carbon capture, which again, what a surprise. Brookfield Investment is in the like carbon capture business. And again, they're still pursuing this anti-gun bullshit, which does absolutely nothing. It's just going to cost taxpayers more money and increase crime. So Canadians are fucking dumb. Like, I don't know if Americans are that fucking stupid where after 10 years of the same government, like ruining society and taking away your basic fundamental human rights of self-defense, vote for them again. Like there's no fucking chance Americans would vote for somebody like Carney. But yeah, Canadians, I don't know if we have too many boomers that own too many fucking houses. That's probably the primary reason, but like, holy fuck.
Can call somebody when they're in trouble, and a class who have nobody to call. When the privileged class runs into arbitrary power, they can call Igor Ivanovich, who can call Ivan Igorovich, who can sort the problem for them. But the majority have nobody to call. Both the moral failure and the political failure are global trends that aren't original to Russia, that aren't unique to Russia, but which Russia represents in an extreme form. Because Russia expresses these two problems extremely, it is a vanguard. And that means that we can learn from it. Because seeing failures we've got at home on a smaller scale more dramatically expressed in another country is an extraordinary opportunity for learning and also for preventing the worst things that are coming your way from coming your way to the fullest extent that they can. And actually, much history, much of what it means to do history is about this activity of seeing something dramatically expressed somewhere else and learning from that how to relate to the fact that the same thing is on a smaller scale expressed where you are. Now we get to the so-called Russian slavery gene. Now, what do people mean when they talk about it? Number one, nobody intellectually serious talks about it. Number two, when it's talked about, it's meant more as an insult than as an explanation. However, the problem with it is that it's an insult to everyone, including the person making it, and not just to Russians. It invites us to regard a group of human beings as not belonging to a category to which, in fact, all humans belong. So it is a version of fascist ideology, or at least soft fascism. When you call Russians the slave gene people and invite Americans, Brits, Germans, Swedes, Australians to join you, you're inviting them to create a category of inferiority that in fact cannot apply to any human grouping, and that is insulting. Now, here is why it's impossible. Could human beings evolve so as to impact their moral capacities? Sure, but that evolution takes a very long time. As far as your moral psychology goes, you are the same as Aristotle, who was born 2,400 years ago. Your moral psychology is hugely inflected by culture, and cultural difference is profound across historical time. But it is still the same human psychology. Therefore, the rate of evolution means that no human grouping could evolve into anything radically different over a period of 1,000 years. And therefore, either all of us have some kind of item we could call the slavery gene, or none of us do. And none of us do. Now, one of the things I haven't mentioned is how Russian passivity is a product of universal features of human psychology. There is the cultural passivity unique to Russia that we discussed. There are the global trends and failures that are not unique but extreme in Russia. And then there is the passivity of universal psychology. I won't elaborate on this except to give one example. We can see that evil that succeeds is harder to see as evil if you are associated with it. Now, where in my...
Look who I got. Got a big kitty. So soft and smells so good. Mwah. It's a good cat. Yeah, I think alcohol has a whole fuck ton to do with Russian passivity. He didn't mention that.
We exist at multiple dimensions, but you're stuck at the chemical dimension. Peyote's gonna help you go beyond chemical.
To an extra chemical dimension?
The peyote spirit saw the plight of the humans, and he decided to manifest himself here on Earth. To get to know peyote, you need to have a conversation with peyote.
This is the story of Lefafora Williams.
Trump has not destabilized NATO. That's just made up.
Its ribs emerge in a Fibonacci sequence, with each tubercle bearing trichomes, creamy and full. Napiform in root, autogamous in flower. Beneath its glaucous green epidermis lie over 50 alkaloids, the most abundant of which, mescaline, became the first psychedelic to undergo scientific study. But long before mescaline's isolation by Western scientists, peyote was worshipped by North American indigenous groups who used the cactus to commune with the divine.
I had a buddy who took peyote. He said he was high for 5 days. That sounds horrendous.
Outlawed in the land where it grows, peyote has found a new home, potted in the greenhouses of Thai cactophiles. In the United States, there are only 2 living organisms that are placed in the most restrictive legal category, Schedule 1. That's cannabis and Lefafora williamsii, the peyote cactus. And possession of the plant itself is a crime. Whereas in Thailand, they are collector's items that are sold to cactophiles for astronomical sums of money simply because they're so beautiful, not because of their psychoactivity. Hi, good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Wow, this is a beautiful collection.
Thank you.
How did you first become interested in Lefafora?
ก็ดูในหนังสือครับดูในหนังสือเห็นว่ามันน่าสนใจรูปร่างอะไรมีหลากหลายก็มันก็เป็นหนึ่งชนิดที่มันมีความแปลกอ่ะเป็นแคคตัสที่ไม่มีหนามก็เลยสนใจเลี้ยง This way.
Wow, beautiful.
Republicans are almost certainly going to win the next election.
One of the largest Lefafora greenhouses on Earth. There are hundreds of absolutely exquisite cactus specimens here. Are all these cacti legal in Thailand?
You can sell Lophophora, no problem.
While botanists officially recognize only 2 species of Lefafora, horticulturists currently distinguish at least 4 different taxa. Oh, I want all these cacti so much. Williamsii, the only member of the genus that contains mescaline as its predominant alkaloid. Fricii, an obligate outcrosser bearing seeds with a testa most coarse. Diffusa, poor in mescaline, but rich in the hypnotic alkaloid peyote. And Alberto Wojtechii, the littlest Lophophora, and at present a phytochemical mystery.
Cactus lust. They have a lot of character, a lot of personality in these cacti. This is called variegation. It's prized amongst cactus collectors. 1, 2, 3, 4. People that are buying these cacti are not using them for their drug effect. They couldn't afford to. 21, 22, 23 flowers on this Lophophora fricii. They're also very beautiful, and I would be ashamed to kill them. Look at this massive, massive, massive mound of cactus. Look at this monster, Ariocarpus reticis. They're so interesting looking.
จะมาซื้อเพราะจะเอาไปเลี้ยงไม่มีใครซื้อเพราะว่าจะไปลองเสพติดยังไม่เคยมี
Look at these immaculate Obregonia denigrii.
When the crystate forms flower, they produce this mohawk of blossoms. What is the most expensive Lophophora that you've ever sold?
It's really expensive cristata.
How much is that?
80,000 baht.
Very expensive cactus.
It's really expensive, yeah.
What about these ones that are grafted?
จะเป็นวิธีการเร็วสุดและในการขยายพันธุ์ตัวที่แปลกๆหายากจะไปดูกราฟใช่ไหม
There's a lot of advantages to grafting these cacti. They get very big, very fast to the point of sexual maturity where they're producing flowers and fruit and seeds.
This is the rootstock that will transport water and nutrients into the scion.
เฉือนวางท่อน้ำเลี้ยงให้ตรงกับต่อไล่ฟองอากาศนิดนึง Very easy.
You make it seem easy.
Yeah. กราฟเสร็จแล้วก็จะเป็นเอาคริสตาต้าตัวไม้แปลกเอามาขยายพันธุ์ฮะเพื่อเพิ่มปริมาณให้มันเร็วขึ้น
Have you used peyote yourself?
ไม่เคย เลี้ยงอย่างเดียวเลี้ยงเป็นต้นไม้เราไม่เคยใช้เป็นสิ่งเสพติด มีเพื่อนเคยเล่าให้ฟังว่ารสชาติมันแย่ ก็เลยไม่คิดจะลอง
But this is a cactus from the southern United States.
Have you ever been to Texas? Texas?
Oh no. William C.I. from Texas?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Endemic from the Rio Grande Valley to the Mexican Mesa del Norte, peyote thrives in pockets of this arid, calcium carbonate-rich soil. Though early Spanish explorers documented its use in the 16th century, archaeological evidence suggests that peyote was valued as far back as 6,000 years ago. Peyote has dual citizenship on land bisected by the US-Mexico border, but due to its scarcity, it's difficult to find without the help of an expert guide.
Hamilton? My great-great-grandpa was the owner of 5,000 to 10,000 acres. We used to pick peyote in all these properties before. There used to be a lot of peyote, a lot. Everything is plowed, everything around. The plowing, it's destroying the peyote and it's disappearing.
For over 4 generations, San Juanita's family has allowed peyote distributors, called peyoteros, to sustainably harvest on their land.
You keep your eyes to the side, you keep your eyes to the side.
So you've been coming here since you were a child?
Yes, since I was 5 years old. I'm 40% Native American. I've always been intrigued with Native Americans. They would run away from their own property. So if I can save it for their religious purpose, why not? Wouldn't you?
Of course, yeah.
Peyote, you have to be very, very, very vigilant in order to find it. Here's a peyote, small one.
Wow, this is the first time I've ever seen it in the wild.
I learned from the Native Americans that you gotta bless the first ones you see. And then you cut it, right?
I don't know if I should. I've never cut a peyote before.
Peyote grows in the shadows of mesquite trees, surrounded by punchia.
It's the money.
Yeah.
All bullshit aside on my mom, dude. I've seen, like, dudes with tons of bricks just down that way.
Do people talk about peyote a lot around here?
No. Nah, it's not common. No.
Weed, cocaine, crystal.
Hell yeah.
Crystal.
Especially
at K2.
Yeah,
it's
dude.
moving quick here. Like, it'll get you addicted to it. And
yeah, dude.
Peyote, I'm gonna be honest, I mean, I don't know about that.
It's a very rare cactus. It needs to be protected.
This is a really nice specimen.
Wow.
This is fasciation, you know, cresting. This was found in the wild. This plant, the tissues of the plant, the peyote doesn't need spines because it has alkaloids. It becomes an automatic herbivore deterrent. You take one bite of that and you say, no, I don't like that.
In 1897, German pharmacologist Arthur Hefter became the father of psychedelic chemistry when he isolated and ingested 150 milligrams of mescaline hydrochloride. He concluded.
Can you tell me how your diet looks like at the moment? You look pretty tight.
I'm dieting. I'm eating 1,850 calories. Basically, I'm just eating protein shakes, apples, and some tofu and rice. Thanks, Wolf.
It was the alkaloid responsible for the visions of peyote. The fact that mescaline produces this psychoactive or spiritual effect in humans is a
total accident. The history of peyote goes back as far as we know to some specimens that were excavated by archaeologists in 1933. These artifacts were effigies of peyote buttons. We did the radiocarbon dating. It was right at about 6,000 years before present. Peyote was in wide use. It was traded between tribes and used as medicine for an arrow wound. There was an outbreak of cholera in the 19th century where peyote was apparently used, indicating an antibacterial effect. Toward the end of the 19th century, the native tribes were deprived of their land, first of all, moved off of their native territory, put in these reservations, which were not much better than jails. And just at that time, when their cultures had basically fallen apart, there was nothing left for them, that's when the ceremony that we recognize now as a typical peyote ceremony showed up. Those things only started happening toward the end of the 19th century.
In a typical ceremony, an ordained guide called a roadman led the congregants in all-night peyote rituals used to mark life events, heal the sick, and communicate with ancestral spirits.
By the turn of the century, the peyote religion had spread all over the Plains tribes. Largely, it was due to the great Comanche chief, Quanah Parker. And when he saw what good the peyote did for his tribe, he said, these other people need to know about this.
At some point, there is either a legal or racial or religious opposition, or all three to this plant.
Absolutely. The authorities and the church particularly wanted peyote to disappear, to go away.
As the peyote religion spread, a propaganda campaign by prohibitionists, Christian missionaries, and opportunistic lawmakers mischaracterized peyote as a deadly addictive drug that drove its users insane. So peyotists united as the Native American Church to protect their practices from white prohibitionists. In 1970, the Controlled Substances Act placed peyote in Schedule 1, making it illegal across the United States. But Native Americans demanded the right to use their holy sacrament.
I represent dispute, and I take it as a holy medicine. All my life.
Yeah, this guy cares about his health. He needs the peyote for his health. Uh-huh.
I can see that this medicine hasn't harmed anybody.
Fortunately, in the mid-1990s, the Congress made an exemption for peyote for bona fide ceremonial use.
To protect perhaps the most precious of all American liberties, religious freedom.
The peyote distributors are now registered with the DEA. They are all getting up in age. And so the number of peyote distributors has declined with the amount of harvestable peyote that has declined. There is enormous damage being wreaked on wild populations of peyote because South Texas is burgeoning in economic growth. And so you build a Walmart, whoop, there goes 4 acres of peyote. Build a subdivision, whoa, there's 100 acres of peyote gone. The root plowing with these enormous instruments buries all the cacti that grow in the top 4 inches or so of soil. Every cactus that was on the place is going to be dead. So economic development. It's the main reason why.
In 1975, there were 27 licensed peyoteros. Magical about the cactus?
Something what?
Magical.
I'm going to tell you something that I have never told anybody. Over there, where that medicine is, every morning, I bless myself and talk to the medicine for maybe 1 minute or 2 minutes. Because an elder told me a while back, talk to the medicine.
All right, so since you've never cut them before, I'm gonna show you how to do it. So you can feel them, feel the energy. There's a lot of ants on this hill here, fire ants. And you're gonna cut along the bottom like that. Okay, so you see what I did? Just cut straight across there. You better go quick, because those ants are going up your knife.
I think I almost
got
it. Ow, wow. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Oh,
okay.
Ouch. Oh.
Okay, here. You can eat as many as you want.
I think this is a good amount, or more?
Yeah, take some more anyway. You see how many is in that bowl?
Yes.
I ate that many, one time.
What happened?
I felt really good. It actually opened up my heart so much that I felt compassion.
How is that not destabilizing NATO? What? trust, or the EU has turned significantly worse than the EU from Trump's threats towards Greenland. Great. How does that destabilize NATO? Has nothing to do with NATO.
Passion for the Spanish people, you know? Even though what they came in...
If anything, Trump stabilized NATO because now European countries are committing to spending more of their GDP to defense spending. So they're not just relying on the fucking US for defense, and now you have more robust NATO forces everywhere. So that idea is just stupid.
When they did to all the native people in Mexico and all the people here and everything, I found in my heart a way to forgive all the Spanish people.
That is gross.
Open up to you in the months and years to come.
I've been studying psychedelics for a decade, and the opportunity to eat peyote is something that has never come up before. It's so precious and slow growing. It's a little bit hard to do. You fall in love with it a little bit. 73 total, including 2 extremely large grandfather peyotes.
You will always have the medicine in you, no matter where you go.
In order to commune with the sacred deer, whose antlers arose from arrows placed upon its head by the Huichol, god of fire.
I couldn't find it. I'm laying my life down for this medicine. That's how we become ordained. You know, at one time, go like this to the 4 directions. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Bless yourself, bless yourself. Okay, now touch it right here to your forehead. Remember your intentions. Okay, now you're ready. Take one of these segments, like this. Oh, look at that. I've been eating peyote for over 45 years. I've only seen goodness come out of this. I've seen miracles. Good things and to say good things. Because everything you think and everything you say when you eat peyote has a good possibility of manifesting.
Okay.
It's okay to smile when you eat peyote. It's even okay to...
I mean, the relationship in NATO, not the capability, the trust. That's just, like, what the fuck do I care? It's very nebulous, vacuous term you're using, and there's no way to define or quantify that.
I'm about 90% of the way through this button, and I'm already feeling it. It's a warm and gentle feeling, coupled with a bit of nausea from eating so much raw cactus. It was a very large button.
Keep eating it, because once you stop, it gets harder. The more you think about it. Just relax. Take a deep breath. Take it easy. You're
yeah,
real
that
good.
was great.
That's good. Clean it up. See? It's gone. Your energy is flowing a little abnormal. It's called don't think. I'm over 60. I'm getting close to 70.
Really?
Do you see gray hairs in my head?
You look really good. Looking good.
You know why? For each child that's born, a morning star rises and sings the good. I had a very addictive personality.
Really? Yeah. I don't drink
You're addicted
alcohol.
to misery.
Addicted to misery?
Yeah.
Interesting.
You make me see what's good. You are gonna say. It's not a noun. You should look at yourself as a verb. So eat more peyote.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. You are a verb.
I'll Hamilton my way through these.
Do you feel high?
I feel more aware. Yeah.
More aware. Peyote is creating more awareness. But you need to get out of yourself. Imagination, the thoughts, messages. And I hope we cured your addiction.
It's possible.
That seemed kind of lame.
Warning, this content is for entertainment and educational purposes only. What's up, Gym Bros? Big Paul here today, and I got a good one for you. Do you need a caloric surplus to grow muscle? This is the latest thing that's going around, the science-based hypertrophy. A disclaimer before I dig into this, I feel like this is ridiculous. I have to say this. I am not attacking anybody personally. I'm not trying to achieve what they're saying that you can achieve with the science-based method. And in this case, it's that you can grow significant amounts of muscle while not eating in a caloric surplus. I get the science behind it. I've read the studies. I understand that building muscle is not an energy-intensive process. I'll go and address all that in just a minute. But I ask a simple question. Show me one open-class professional bodybuilder who has built a significant amount of muscle without pushing food. There's not one that I can think of. Not a single example. Now, you can maintain, you can, once you've gotten there, but the journey from, say, 165 pounds to 250, being a massive open-class bodybuilder, doesn't happen without pushing some fucking food. Just doesn't happen. Now, what I will tell you, that doesn't excuse you for being a fat ass. I think most people, and I will still stand by this, I've always said this, I've not wavered on this at all, that most people are too fat to be pushing food up. You got to get lean first. That still holds true. And you look at it in most professional bodybuilders, they say lean year round. Like their fat is 14, 15% body fat at most. You look at any off-season professional bodybuilder, they still have abs present. So you don't want to be fat. Getting fat is different than pushing food and growing. There is a differentiation between the two. So it's not an excuse to be fat. And another thing that the science-based hypertrophy community says that just drives me fucking nuts. It drives me absolutely goddamn nuts when you push back on them and say, well, like, just show me somebody in, I'll do this. I'll say, show me somebody in professional bodybuilding that's done it. And their answer is always, well, steroids. Bro, I know plenty of people that take steroids, eat like shit, and don't look like they lift weights. There are a bazillion of them. Well, there was a study that showed that, dudes that took 600 milligrams of testosterone grew, 5 kilograms of muscle without training. I'm like, come on, man. Like, does anybody truly believe that you're going to grow just significant amounts of muscle by taking 600 milligrams of testosterone and sitting on your couch and eating McDonald's? Really? Anybody believe that? I mean, I've been at this for a long time. I haven't seen anybody grow.
Those studies where they look at just testosterone response and muscle growth without training, they're just bullshit. All they're measuring is changes in lean mass with like a DEXA. So basically, they're just storing more water weight. They didn't grow any muscle.
The same breath, they'll tell you that food is not a stimulus for growth. That you have mechanical tension is the only stimulus that causes growth. But in the same breath, they'll tell you that you can take steroids and grow muscle without doing a damn thing. Now, you tell me how ridiculous that is. Now, look, it's not to say steroids don't work. They are fucking awesome. They do work. They increase muscle protein synthesis. They increase recovery. There's nutrient partitioning. There's all kinds of crazy things that they do that allow us. Clearly, the results of being on a pro stage would not exist without steroids in play. Not denying that in any way. But it's just, it's the automatic fallback when you point out the fallacy or the flaw in their argument. They just...
Yeah, the paper where they had the maintenance thing, they were all in a caloric surplus.
But steroids. Like, come on,
yeah,
dude.
Scientific Snitch didn't bother fucking reading it.
Do steroids violate the fundamental laws of physics? Do they allow you to defy thermodynamics? Do they allow you to grow muscle without a training stimulus? And that study that they like to point to that showed muscle growth didn't account for increased nitrogen, glycogen, and mineral retention that happens when you take stuff. I guarantee you that guy that gained whatever it was, I don't remember the guys that gained 4 or 5 kilograms, when they came off of it, the testosterone, I guarantee you they went back to baseline within a couple months. It's like the D-ball gains, man. It's like the dudes that blow up on fucking D-ball, silly ass argument that they love to make. Now, I love a lot of people in the science-based hypertrophy community. A lot of the things that they say I share in agreement with, and what they say, I think that a lot of the stuff has value, but you cannot arbitrarily dismiss 70 years of bodybuilding as bro science when you have 95% of the people that do something the exact same way, thousands of people. You can't say steroids or genetics or anything, across the entire ranks.
Yeah, the maintenance calorie thing is just fucking stupid. You don't have to be in a big surplus. It's only like a couple hundred calories or something, but yeah, the idea that you can gain muscle indefinitely at maintenance. It's just stupid. All right. It is late. I am going to go to bed now. Don't have to train tomorrow. If I'm up early and stuff, I think I might just play some games in the morning, do a morning game stream. I think it's the 5th today, right? Yeah. I'm supposed to be doing a live stream with yeah, I think Gary Rofsky is going to be there. Yeah, Gary Rofsky is going to be on a live stream. I'm going to be there. I'm probably going to stream it simultaneously. And then there's going to be like a Q&A and everything. And I think Harry and James Aspie are going to come on too. So we'll be doing that